phoned you on the wireless after 6 last night, and I said something Mr. Keevans didn't like. He cut me off, but I might try again tonight. I asked him if the new call had a history. He started saying things that made no sense to me, and all I wanted was a bit of clarity. The phone went silent. Well, I'm not violent.
Super Scoreboard, your program is shite. Super Scoreboard, your program is shite.
Mention Sevco, you depart. I tried again tonight, and all I had to know was Ali good enough, or did he have to go? You blew a gasket and he banned me from the show. I wasn't sorry. Now I watch Corey.
Super Scoreboard, your program is shite. Super Scoreboard, your program is shite.
In my house and in my car, I find the panel's views bizarre.
Europa League would have an adverse effect on Celtic in the SPL, and it has. But John, if you're a man at all, you'll be back on here Monday night after the Motherwell game if Motherwell have won. And you tell me that Celtic's 6 points behind Motherwell, 15 behind Rangers. You come back then and tell me that Celtic will win this.
Super Scoreboard, your program is shite. Super Scoreboard, your program is shite.
Your verbal crap has got to go. Slow-witted men and holy joes. If you don't want the status quo, listen to Tommy in Glasgow's show.
A thing of the past. You are a thing of the past. Super Scoreboard, your program is shite. 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 Super Scoreboard, your program is
and it makes me sad. Looking at your overshare, what are you talking for? Looking at your overshare, there's so much for me to know about.
Thanks for joining us tonight. It's 6:20. Exodus. Tell 10 to tell 10. Retweet to retweet. Hail, hail. The crackpot is here. What?
Men and people will fight it out.
moving culture people. Moving culture people. How we going? What's happening? And sad to hear the death of the good brother from the Charlatans. He suffered from a brain hemorrhage. It was a brain tumour about 3 years ago. And sadly passed away today. So that tune was for Weirdo. That's for any weirdos out there. Yes, this is a weirdo here. This is a crackpot McDougall. This is, we've rebranded it. Yes, we'd like to rebrand once in a while. So we're coming back as the Fenian Defence League Radio. Fenian Defence League Radio. As the tweet said earlier on, Fenians defended anywhere, zombies, single fish ripped out of whatever. A new one will be ripped any time. If you get a zombie, right, where's the Scotland team staying? That's the first request. Scotland team, where art thou? Where art they? Sort it, get it gone down. Help me out, help a crackpot out. Tell 10 to tell 10, retweet to retweet, hail hail. And as we start this show tonight, and if you've done a retweet, yes, in the BBC, they'll send court marshals to your door. They'll smack your door down with bailiffs. They'll come in and rob you if you don't pay your licence. I'm not asking for your cash. No, tonight anyway. We don't need to go for a trip to Ireland. But I'm not asking for your cash. I'm asking for a retweet. A single solitary RT retweet if you think you're crackpot enough. It's as simple as that. Paul Mick, 67. God bless. Right, the number to dial, if you're in Manchester, if you're mad with it, for the Manchester crew, it's 0161 298 1025. Yes, that is a number that fooled one cell DL. With a number like that, he didn't notice, he failed to recognise it was Manchester, so he thought it was Clydebank with the 1025. Failing to recognise that Shugmeister would be in his paper bit and nowhere near the Snide studio, but hey, so there you go. Henry Clarkson, how you doing, brother? Thanks for giving the retweet, Henry. Does that mean you're there? If you're listening, come on the show, give us the benefit of your wisdom. No spoke to you in a while, brother. 0141 416 1888. Any Celtic fan who wants to come on and chew the cud, this crackpot is here at your service, at your behest. I'm in the same situation, in the same boat as you. I seen what was happening in the summer. Charlotte the harlot told us the truth, Roof. Daz a king ran away to the States for a reason. All the rest of these half-wits that have sat back telling his lies are still there. Look who's on there tonight. And thanks Paul McGlinchey, and thanks Martin McKissock, and thanks Jamsey, thanks Jamesy boy, and thanks the Celtic Way. So thank yous all for hitting me with a retweet. No passer on, thank you as well. He gave us a retweet. Glasgow Road, Henry, GFT, Justice for the 96, Edo, Celtic Hub. And God willing, I'm still working hard away. We're going to do the movie. We're looking for an internet Bampot Confederation movie where, God willing, the same as the artist taxi driver, if he can go around doing interviews, that's just exactly what I'm going to be doing. Interviews, jumping out of bushes, dressed in a Celtic onesie, and all the EBT recipients, bankers, accountants, all sorts. We'll be going into Westminster dressed in a Celtic onesie. We'll be going up the Bank of England in a Celtic onesie. Might even don an Irish tricolour one as well. We'll even get a burqa pre-ordered and an Irish tricolour if need be. It's either that or well a balaclava or my Palestinian scarf or my Neil Lennon mask. Yes, utmost protection. And then, as I say, we're going to have to, I phoned them yesterday, I was on the show yesterday, we phoned up the Iranian embassy and we're going full scale ahead. As soon as we go over there, we're going to do four Internet Bampot Confederation get-togethers. We'll have the Internet Bampot movie launch. Internet Bampot movie launch. I think Snyder charging 25 bangers for sitting around with a bunch of heat bangers. Well, God willing, 30 bangers, roughly, we may even go for 25, but 25, 30 bangers, we will give you a night in a cinema for an Internet Bampot premiere movie. A question and answer session and a free buffet service and a sing song. Bring your own jelly and ice cream or tipple. It's up to yourself. And with that funding, we'll turn it into about 20 bags of sand, it'll cost about £2,000 to pay back the people who organise it. 3-4 grand probably for the events I'm going to have to organise and the payback with all the DVDs. T-shirts, a good brother offer to do T-shirts, so we'll do T-shirts rewards. We'll send postcards. We're also looking for anybody who's in the music, the movie making business. If somebody wants to be a golden angel, a guardian angel, a crackpot angel, yeah, we'll call him a crackpot angel. You'll need to be a crackpot angel, look after a crackpot. So if you want to give me 2 bags of sand, there'll be also chances to have lunches. We'll be selling lunches. I'll be selling taxi fares where for the day I'll pick you up from the airport, wherever, drive you round Glasgow, giving you a personalised tour of a taxi driver in a tinfoil Skoda. We'll drop you off, Celtic tour, all inclusive. We'll pick you up. We'll take you, if you want, we can either go to the internet film launch at the GFT in Glasgow. We'll be doing one in London, one in Dublin and Bublin, and God willing, one in New Orleans. And just with a simple get together, the majority of the money will be raised with a get together. So if you're pledged and promise to put that in, then God willing, I'll go round for about 2 months round Europe. I'll even do a coalition. I'll collide with a coalition with the Celtic teams going abroad. So God willing, we're going to be playing in Milan, Barcelona, Madrid, who the feck you try to kid. So wherever we go, I'll take a wee camper van. I'll go in tow with a mad crackpot cameraman. And to get it, make it all legal, like we do with the shows when we phone people so they can't block it, we'll jump out with an iPhone 5, with a Ustream account, doing a live broadcast, and that's it. You're included in the movie and you can't stop it because it's it'll be ready on the internet, so you'll have these wee bits on the internet. But primarily, yeah, for a bit of fun, but he who's the victor gets to write history. So let's not leave it to the mainstream media to make a movie. Let's not leave it to these, well, they're not going to make a movie anywhere near the way a Celtic fan would. And so God willing, I'm looking for the help from Celtic fans. If you get experience, if you get cameras, you can help cut the cost. If you get a camper van, better than that, if you've got a Winnebago and donated to a crackpot for a couple of months, I'll promise I'll take good care of it. We'll go over the UK, we'll go over Ireland, we'll go everywhere. We'll be on the hunt for EBT recipients and we will track them down. Tenacity, they'll need to redefine the word tenacity. I'll be getting, the way I get numbers, I'll be getting addresses. We'll be going for addresses. It's not a problem. There's a lovely little company called tracesmart.co.uk. Everybody's address is in there, not a problem. 75p, bing bang bosh. We're coming to your door, we're jumping out of bushes, we're waiting till you walk down the road with a wee dog, and there's me and the mad Jonathan. I'll be jumping out. Don't know how many times we're going to get jailed and have to get rebailed. But c'est la vie, I'll be part of the job and part of the fun. We'll be taking pictures of the cops as the jailers. Right, we'll be jumping out anywhere in the bushes. Is there any bushes outside the Bank of England? We'll get that Mark Kearney. Apparently he goes in the tube. We'll find a tube ride for the Bank of England, what he's going, what journey, and we'll sit there with a Celtic onesie on interviewing them. How's about that? And get into that. They can run, but they can't hide. I only need to be lucky once, they need to be lucky all the time. Sean Paul O'Connor, well done. Thanks for following us. Celtic, Gad Boy, Derek, Martin O'Neill, Terry O'Neill even, Martin O'Neill. Hold on, I put a message out to you, Terry, earlier on. If you're there, brother, God bless you, there. Let's see, Brian. Oh, there we go, Brian, I've got your number. You wanted to phone last night, didn't you? Terry, you there? I'll give you a call, Terry, if you want to come on for a wee chinwag. Talk about the game. Against the Dublin decider, the game tomorrow, Scotland against England. Who's Ireland playing? Right, so where are we? And is it a week tomorrow that we play in Kazakhstan? My goodness me. So the deadline passed, no Finn Bogason, and as I suspected, the people writing articles yesterday, the good Paul Brennan, quite possibly soften the blow from the PLC that we wouldn't be signing Finn Bogason, and we'll be going for cheaper options, which is fine. It's fine, you know, if it's out of our league, if we're a bit reticent about splashing the cash because we don't want to go into too much debt when we're not guaranteed the Champions League's money. I mean, I can understand that. If it's a case of that the money is tight and they're just looking to guard it for worst case scenario, then fine, feckin' well come out and tell us. Just it's the hesitation, and as I say, it's the gamble. It's a huge gamble of 10, 15, 20 million pound for this season for the sake of selling the spine I mean, if anybody wants to disagree, then come on. If anybody wants to agree and say, you're right, you mad crackpot, you're not as daft as you look, and we're taking a hell of a chance, losing, Wilson, I would say, yeah, sell him, get somebody else, but he has been no bad compared to what we've had, let's be honest. I mean, compared to Rognia, compared to, you know the ones with dafties we've had, Big Glenda, he's been alright, obviously, but losing Hooper, I mean, he could have had an injury with us, so we'd have lost him anyway and not got the money. So it's Wanyama that I feel is the big miss. Thankfully, Scott Brown is playing okay. Thankfully, he's jettisoned Kayal and he's left Ledley there. But is there enough creativity to take on this Kazakhstan mob? Jamie Forrest, is he going to be? Is he? I don't know. Is he going to come into a game? He's obviously been given a good enough run to get him back into what he was before he went out with injuries. So hopefully, God willing, Lenny knows the script and he's just give him a good run and he's going to come good. And I'll just put it on here. So we just need to wait and see. Who do we play this weekend? We play Aberdeen on it. It's Aberdeen up in Pittodrie this weekend. And then straight out next week, Terry O'Neill. Oh, God bless you, brother. Hello? Hello? Terry?
Hi, how's it going?
Not bad.
Who's that?
Yeah. Tommy?
Oh,
Terry, you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear.
Listen, have you still got the same number?
I'm still.
I'll phone you back, it's a bad line. I'll phone you your mobile. Is that you on the computer now, aye?
I'm on my iPad.
I'll phone you in your mobile. You still got the same number, aye?
I'm getting the same number, aye.
If I phoned a couple of months ago, right, okay, I'll phone you back, 2 seconds. Right, here we go, 2 seconds. And this is a famous brother, like myself, was banned persona non gratis. Or persona non grata. Yes, there was no thanks when we were on. We get no thanks for it. We just get banned for our troubles. Persona non grata. Right, so hold on a minute. I'm just phoning you now. I think it's phoning. I'll press it button. Yeah, let's see how we call it. Right, hold on. What's the matter with my Skype here? I'll put your number in. Why ain't it dialing? Stay there. Everything's working here. Right. Everything going live, crackpots? Everything okay? You can hear me okay? Right, we're just going to get the bold Terry O'Neill, who used to phone Radio Clyde like myself, and was banned. For what? For telling the truth. And they allowed one cell DL on there, they allowed propagandist agents from Sevco, and yet they banned people with knowledge like Terry O'Neill, and God willing. I'll get him on here, but my thing's not working. Let's go down here. Bear with us. Why is this not going here? Put your number in. Let's see that, but it's not going.
Hello, welcome to Skype.
Right, so that works there. Right, so maybe I'll put your number in here. Can't understand why it was working. Stay there. Right, that's it. And here we go. Should work now. Ah, there we go. That's better.
The mobile you're calling isn't available at the moment, but if you like...
Right. If you're listening on the time, I'm just phoning you on number ending.
The mobile you're calling isn't available at the moment,
4.
but if you like, we can...
Right. Once I've got Terry on, if anybody else wants to come on, we can do a maximum of 3 people, a 3-way call. We can have 3 people on. Hello.
How's it going?
I try to get your mobile. I wasn't getting through there. I don't know what's... I had a problem on my end. I don't know if it's my end or your end.
Oh,
It seems better now. It was awful crackly earlier on. It seems alright now. If you want to go over it now, save the hassle. So how are you doing anyway, Terry?
aye, fine. How you?
Aye, getting by. So, what's... Sorry?
I'm in a hotel room in Manchester. I'm doing like a training thing with my work. So just listen to your show there. Just tuned
Good
in.
stuff. Good stuff. What's your take on things then, Terry?
I think on the likes of the centre forward thing, I was reading that quite about the situation that I quite a lot of it, and then read the Henry Clinton wrote a reply to him, and basically they pointed out a couple of sensible points. I'm probably somewhere in between. I think fans are now operating the transfer market. I still think Celtic knew, I had a very good idea that when Yama was going and who probably was going. So
They should have had that covered at the start of the... They should have had that covered, Terry. Sure, they should have at the start. If they knew they were gone, like we all did, they should have had their replacements in, basically, really.
Well, that's the thing. You knew it looks obvious. If you look at goal scorer, your other top player in the team, to replace
Terry, before you go, mate, it's a cunty of line here. It keeps cutting out. If you got a number there or something, even you said you're in a hotel, aye? Oh, don't tell me the name now. If you want, I can phone your hotel. Wait, I can turn everybody off. I can phone and get through to your hotel. Make it easier that way, and just ask for your thing, mate. Because it's just every second or third word is just breaking up. It's.
Do you want me to give you my mobile number?
I give it. Right, well there, crackpots, a little bit of sponsor silence brought to us from our good friends in the Noise Abatement Society. And right, we're just going to, we're putting another number in here. We'll get a better line, God willing now. We'll get a better line, God willing. And it'll be worth it, it'll be worth the wait, because there was a reason why this gentleman was banned from Radio Clyde, because he done him up like a kipper many, many times. So it's always good to listen to a good brother who's got much information against the. Hold on. I'll just make sure I got it right. Get much information. That sounds better.
Hi, Tommy.
That sounds better. I want to do you justice, mate, because you've got good stuff there. On you go, crack on what you're saying.
Hey, hold on, you turn my Skype off. Fuck that, turn you off. Hold on. Hold on, I'll turn this off. Can't even shut you down, Tommy. Hold on.
Don't smash it now. No, it's alright, take your time,
I think that's it. Can you hear me alright?
Aye, brilliant now, aye. So what were you saying then, Terry?
Aye, on the CELTIC transfer situation, I think overall I'm pretty happy with CELTIC strategy. I understand perfectly what they try to do, and buy young guys, get a couple of years out of them, sell them for double the money. And that's perfectly understandable. That's the only way we can operate in the transfer market and not be totally dependent on getting money for the Champions League. So I understand that. But like everything else in life, there should always be exceptions to the rule. And I think one of the exceptions to the rule is if you're losing a goal scorer, you replace a goal scorer. And the only thing I'll factor in Celtic's defence at this minute is that Safing Borgson as the number one target. I think personally you get the guy signed in as soon as you can. Obviously life is straightforward as that. There might be complications in that Celtic want to sign them for the usual Celtic, want to sign them at a lower price, the selling club sell them at a higher price. Negotiation takes place and the deadline goes by and we immediately, the position is Celtic penny pinching. But I think that the disappointing thing for me, and I agreed with James Forrest that the other day, is we knew when Yama and Hooper were going. So to me the signing should be in place at the start of pre-season, bed them in during pre-season, in an ideal world I'm saying. But as for the strategy, and people are saying, we don't want to break the strategy by paying too much for Finnbogason. I think you make an exception when, as a centre forward, that's the only exception I would say, because I think a goal scorer, especially on a Celtic team, is vital, and we've just lost one. So I think you've got to, when you're signing a pedigree player, you can sign £1 and £2 million players like we have done with him at Sweden, Bangura. Had no pedigree, and other players that we've signed, no goal scoring pedigree. You can look at their previous records. Their pedigree is poor. This guy, Finnbogason, you look at him, I think it was 27 goals in 31 games or something last year. That's a goal scorer in the Dutch League. He'll do that with Celtic. He was brought up in Scotland in his formative years, so it's not as if it's like he's going to China, he's going to Scotland. The guy will do a job for us. He got it. Let's say it was a total disaster. We've paid $5 million, but we've made $3 million on the Hooper transaction. So in reality, you're replacing Hooper for the $2 million that you originally bought Hooper, plus the $3 million that you've got as a profit in Hooper. The people will say, "Aye, but if that's a disaster, then you've wasted the $5 million." But I say take the chance, and it's not a chance. You're signing a proven goal scorer. Pay the $5 million for the guy. If he's our number one target, just pay it. If it's all a smoke screen and he's no our target, because as usual Celtic don't commit to it, and quite rightly don't tell anybody anything about the transfer dealings. But the perception is that he's our number one target. For me, that's the exception. I can understand the argument that says, no, continue our policy of signing guys for $1 and $2 million and selling them for $4 and $5 million. I'd say that's 90%, and all the 80-20 rule. 80%, 90% of your dealings, that's the way to go. Sign guys young, sell them at the right age.
Aye. And like you say,
But I
for an
think you make
exception,
you
like
make
that,
an exception
especially,
as a centre forward.
we've made 20 million in the transfer market. How much we made last year for the time? With 20 million. Now, I know we're not sitting there with a war chest of 40, but if we can't make one exception, and it's for the team and the betterment of the team, and like you say, you cannot guarantee paying 2 million to get what we want. Now, we don't want a player to come in and score in our league, because we can win it without even a top scorer. But we've got, we could win it, but we need it for the top flight. And you're right, if we don't push a boat out in something like that, when can we? I mean, it's no, we don't have to go and get a team of £4-5 million players, keep the team as is, still go back to the 1-2 million. But like you say, double up. Instead of buying 2 forwards for the price, double up. And if you need to put that extra million, instead of getting 2 players at 4 million, just go for 5 million, get the other million, put it on tap and say, go for it, because you are 100% right on that, Terry. A striker to deliver the goals, and we got that with Hooper, we failed with Bangura, so it's a 50-50. Are we going to get somebody for 2 million, or do we splash out in a pedigree? Just to let you back in, the only thing I would say is, where did we get Samaras from? I know we got him from Man City, but did he not have a record that was at Heerenveen as well, with a good lot of goals? And then look what I don't know, it could be a bit different, but what about that one?
Well, that's true. Sammy cost what, 6 million or something for Man City, and didn't do it. But he's turned into a vital player now. He's indispensable as far as I'm concerned. We got him at the right price. And what I'm saying is, if you can get a guy like Hooper, of course that's who I would sign. If we had a guy that had scored maybe 23 goals, 24 goals in England last season, we could sign him for £1.5 million, and he was under 24 years of age. And I would tell Finn Boxing to go day one. But obviously, to me, as a supporter, unless it's a smoke screen, as I say, Finn Boxing's the guy that's at the top of the list.
Exactly.
He's the guy that we want to sign. Now, if there's other guys that are cheaper, but still goal scorers, I go for them. If there's guys that are cheaper, but aren't the goal scorers, I know it sounds an obvious point to make, but we sign guys that aren't the goal scorers. We signed him that ended up at Ipswich. It was at the end of his career, who'd never had a record of scoring goals. That Irish fella, I can't remember his name. And we signed... Sorry?
Who am I thinking of? Murphy? No.
Aye, Darryl... was it Murphy?
Daryl Murphy, aye.
It's the blind leading the blind here, Tommy. I can't mind, but you know what I'm talking about.
It was him, aye.
He's ended up in obscurity somewhere. We took him for whoever, Ipswich, I think. And I thought to myself, he's got his best years, if you could call them best years, behind him. And we're signing him for 1 million or whatever it was, it's quoted, paying him wages. The guy couldn't score in the proverbial barrel. But that to me is a waste of money. That's criminal.
And I remember going to that game, and the Motherwell, he scored a penalty, and seeing just that first game, I thought, a boy's no go to it. And then people say, you can't make a decision. Well, I beg to differ. At times when you see someone playing, you know he's no go to it. At the same time, Harold Brackpack, the same day he scored 4 goals, he missed about 40, and I left the game saying, the guy's still no go to it. I mean, he's not going to make it here, even though he did win the league. But I don't know, do you remember that game when he scored 4 goals, and it should have been about 20, and then I just left the game thinking, hold on, even though he scored 4, the goals that he missed, the chances he missed were just fucking outrageous at times.
You can see, like the guy like Tune was signed, never a goal scorer. He's maybe... But to me, if you're a Celtic forward with anything about you at all, you'll score 20 goals. Now that's why, to me, it's a no-brainer. You sign guys for other teams that've got a goal-scoring record. You don't sign guys that haven't, but that's what we've done in the past, and it's because of the market we generally shop in. But we've got an opportunity this season that we've never had before. We've sold Wanyama, who cost us 800,000 for 12 million quid. So you take all the transfer money, you don't even need to touch the Champions League money. Celtic, to my mind, could comfortably spend between 10 and 15 million pounds.
Easy. Well then, hold on, can I ask...
to what's happened this year, and then tailor a cost next year.
And can I ask, how much did we get Wilson in for?
What you've took in the transfer market.
How much did we get Wilson in for?
I think we signed him in a free.
So there you go, that's 15 million profit, almost over 14, 2.5 for him, 12.5. So in a profit in 2 years for two players, 50 million combined before you even add it in. And if we can't push the boat out, if we're being told that we have to wait, well then fine, somebody for Celtic should come out and say, we're really cutting our cloth accordingly and we're not going to splash out until then, and then we know. But then, like I say, it's a hell of a gamble because you're dealing with another 20 million on the table, and for the sake of 5 million, and there's no guarantee with Finn Bogason would do it, but with a record he's come out the block so far this year, scored a couple of goals, scored the 24 last season. With that, it seems he's up to match fitness. Put him in there, he's a born scorer, and he'll get us into the Champions League. But why is that a no-brainer for the Celtic board to go with? Splash the cash. If he needs an extra million, if he needs an extra few $100,000 a week, but we're light on players and we're heavy in cash, it's a no-brainer. I'm a you, bro.
The thing is, to me, the thing boxing, as I say, is an exception. It's like we can step up from our usual level of £2 million players, usually our stretch 2.5. But this season, because of circumstances, primarily the Wanyama situation, has gave us that step. Because I'm confident that if Finn Bogason is anything at all in terms of a goal scorer, which he obviously is, you could sell him in 2 years, or even next year, if he's a sensation in the Champions League. Somebody will come in and offer you 10 million, 12 million. So, to me, I don't see how that guy, a guy of that pedigree, would fail in Scotland. He'd be banging him every week. He's doing it at a national level. He did it under 21 level for Iceland. He's doing it in Holland. The guy has got a pedigree. Pay the 5 million. He's worth it. We'll get our money back and more.
You're right, because I mean, what Celtic should
excitement amongst the support. See perception. It's a big thing in Scotland. A big thing amongst the Celtic fans. Perception of our board is the day just enough. They're penny pinchers. Now, I know that's a bit unfair because they're running a brilliant strategy as far as I'm concerned and it's that, I mean, I had a wee discussion with somebody the other day and they went, everybody can see that the formula is you sign young players and you sell them at all. I say, if everybody can see it, why does most football teams not do it? I say, it's only because we can see the fruits of it that it seems obvious. But that strategy is paying dividends. But what I'm saying is, if you've got a guy like a Hooper that's in the wings, that's maybe second or third choice, I'm all for that. Sign the guy at 2 million if he's scoring 30 goals in Latvia or Bulgaria or whatever. I don't know, whatever the league he's playing in. If he's a goal scorer, then sign him. But to me, Finn Bogason at 5 million represents value for money.
And he's still young enough, like you say. We don't have to keep him for any length of time. If we have to get that 5 million back, it's not as if he's going to depreciate, like you say, unless he has a hell of a stinker of a season. But if he can come here, if he can score 20 odd goals, and if he's an out and out striker, if he can do that in Holland, he's going to do that by the barrel load here. All he needs to add to that would be maybe 3-4 goals, key goals, winning his games, putting himself on show against a Juventus or a Milan or another Dutch team or a German team, a goal there, winning as a game, and that's him right up. His money would go up then, surely, the same way Big Wanyama did. He scored a goal against Barca, and can I ask you, what did he do for the rest of the season for Celtic? I might be a bit harsh, but he more or less put his tool bag away for the league games because there was no much of a challenge. And I mean, he seemed to be playing what you say within himself, you know. So it's remarkable what happens when you can score a few goals. So you're right, Celtic haven't made this profit. They're being a bit scared, and I think it's because, I think it's because they're worried about no making that. But then if you spend all your time worrying about stuff, then that's what caused you problems. I think that's what caused them the problem away back with the boy at Hibs. We were crying out for a striker. Big Van Hesselump and McDonald couldn't have scored in a brothel, and the Rangers kind of hoodwinked us, if you remember. They were selling everybody and Boyd was going to go, but they never sold him, they kept him. We never added a striker and we lost it. Now it's all ifs, buts and maybes, but the thing was they didn't speculate to accumulate, and they could have had a double swoop then, because they could have got their 10 million for Europe, and that was vital to the Mankey mob. As we see, they were doing dodgy deals with referee and honest mistakes all over the place to ensure that vital lifeline to keep them alive. I mean, we could have closed them down just with that signing a Fletcher. You know, it could have brought the problem with them on years before it did. But c'est la vie. But what I'm saying is the same problem seems to be there with the board now, where they're not as brave as they should be. And can I ask you then, Terry, do you think this might have stemmed from the issue of what they used to call the blue chip signing we used to try to get in, and it stems back to a kind of stage fright they got when they went for old Gravison, you know, when they paid the money for him and it was a spectacular failure? Do you reckon it stems back that maybe that's what they're scared of, making a bad mistake? Too crazy with them in their eyes anyway.
It's just guesswork on my part, because I don't know. I'm an outsider looking in with half the facts. I don't know what's in Peter Lawwell's mind, but as an outsider looking at it, it's like, to me it looks as if Celtic have got this strategy, and I can understand why you hardball negotiate, because that's how you save money, and it's obviously complex that you might have 4 guys that you're looking at various stages of negotiation, because other teams might be interested, things can fall down, so you don't want to be left with options. So there's a lot that goes on in the background that we're not privy to, but I'm just saying, all things being equal, I think the business should be done a bit quicker, but it's not getting done, and that, as a fan, you're frustrated because you see the situation last week, one of Celtic's worst performances in Europe, and we get through. And we got through, I think, because mainly we were playing a poor team. We could have quite easily went out of that game.
Easily.
They score, all it takes is a deflection. I'd have pointed the finger at the board and said it was negligence that we've not had players in. But we've got away with that one. And
that's Terry, just to jump in, that's why I've been going on it here, and then that's why I phoned up Paul Brennan yesterday, and I phoned Peter Lawwell. I mean, we need somebody, because we are taking too much of a gamble. I feel that it's too much of a gamble. I mean, and then the repercussions are what they have done. We'll come to this maybe later on, but maybe not talk about it. But what they've done with the Green Brigade, I envisage, and I don't want it to be this way, and I hate to be a harbinger of doom, but if we don't get through to Europe, and like you say, that display last week, I sat there watching it, talking about it, commentating on it, and I was shitting it, because if they had any decent strikers, we were done for. We were done for, because they'd have scored a goal and then probably scored another one, because we had nothing really there. So I don't want to say it, but with no Green Brigade there and no European top level football Champions League, it's a long cold winter. I mean, I don't want it to be that way, but it's a dicey game, and I'm glad that you are seeing it the same way. How can we as fans put pressure on to get them a splash of cash, because they've obviously got it, and it's a case of, well, they can come out with excuses and say, oh, well, like you said, I appreciate what you're saying and what they're saying, the strategy, and now what you're saying, you're right. I mean, if there's a time where you can't go and splash a cash out, and if we're going to bring in 3-4 players, or we're going to bring in 3-4 players, then just knock on the head, bring in 2 players and make sure that one is a top striker, and then go with the defence. If we can't afford another defender, go with the defence, but getting another midfielder. We're maybe light in the middle of the park. I would get rid of that. Would you get rid of Kyle? Do you see a future in him there?
I was actually watching the game. I never saw the game live on Saturday. I watched it on Liverpool TV the next day, and I'm not kidding, I'm not just saying this, but I actually didn't know Kyle was on the park until we took him off. that young boy, see him is going to Kilmarnock on loan. What's his name? I'm terrible with names. The young midfielder. I thought he was a standout. He was like feisty. He was in Gerard's face. I know it was only a friendly, but to me the boy has got aggression, and what I like to see in a player is their use of the ball. He hardly wasted the ball. That boy, I think, is getting farmed out of Kilmarnock. I know it's the loans only until January. I think he'll be a first-team player. And it's easy to say, oh, how can you say that in one viewing? But I think you can see if a guy got it or no in one view, and to me that boy's got it. Whether it's at Celtic or somewhere else, he's going to be a football player.
Look at players who have it when they're young and then they don't have it when they're older.
Is it Jackson Irvine? His name is the Australian boy.
Is that his name? Aye. I've heard good things about him previously. Aye.
He was. I thought he looks like a football player. His movement, he's aggressive, and he can pass the ball. He can see a pass. To me, he put Kyle in the shade, as I say. When Kyle came off, I thought, I didn't even know he was playing. And to me, that boy he was in about it. And for a youngster, for me, he stood out. Go back to that what you get in a lot of the discussions and whenever you're talking to Celtic fans or see it written down, when there's ever a situation like that, people adopt, it's like a black side of the argument and a white side. There never seems to be anything in between. People will go, we've got to be careful, look at Rangers, we've got a strategy, we've got to stick to that strategy. There never seems to be this, but wait a minute, we've got a wee bit of a middle ground. Nobody's saying spend all the money we've made, but make an exception for a centre forward. Of everything, the whole Celtic thing since I've been watching Celtic 40 odd years. The thing that excites the Celtic support is forward players. They've always had exciting forwards. And to me, the new is a time when we need an injection of excitement in that team. We need it. We've lost our top goal scorer. We've lost our top midfielder. We can't just always rely on taking the chance that we can sign somebody for $2 million. I think that this season is the season, because of the Wanyama situation, that we can add another $2.5 million to our normal $2.5 million that we would spend on a centre forward. And I think it just takes us up a notch that we can shop at a Finn Bogson level for one season. Let's do it this season.
And the crazy thing is, right, for a £5 million player, it's not really that much a gamble. I mean, we can say it's a gamble, right? If anybody wants to join in, because I can do up to 3 people, it's 0141 416 1888. If you're doing in Manchester with the Bold Terry, is that what you're, Terry, aye? In Manchester,
it's about 20 miles or something from Manchester, I think.
Well, the Manchester number's 0161 298 1025. But it's no much of a gamble, because, okay, you put 5 million on the table and he scores a goal. Okay, he might not score a goal, but if we get through, then we're guaranteed 10, 15 million. So it's a no-brainer. If we're going to buy a player in anyway, and we're just haggling over the detail over $1 million or whatever, then why, if we're going to spend 4 million and the club wants 5 million and he knows is who he wants and we can afford them? I mean, surely by this stage, by the time I was going to the team and negotiating the fee, surely we're also negotiating with the player, so we must know we can afford these wages. Maybe it's that we can't afford these wages, maybe his head's been turned by bigger money elsewhere, but if we can afford these wages and we can afford the thing, then we should be getting him in. If no, then we should be going for a target, like you say, who has got that proven, and if he's got a fee on him, and if we can meet it and we can pay his wages, I mean, let's be honest, the Dutch wage structure can't be that much great in comparison to ourselves. It can't be that much better anyway. But then the thing that we should be selling on is, we'll come for a year, we spend that 5 million, and if he does what he does, then they're going to make money on him, and they could even recoup. So say we sign him for the 5 million, and then next year he goes down to England for 10 million. Then that would, and even if we don't get through, even if he doesn't get us through to the Champions League, then that would help the shortfall of missing it this year, you know, with that extra 5 million. But it just seems to me they're gambling to go through in a threadbare budget, hoping that it's going to be done, and then once it's done, they're going to rush out and try and sign a few players. And I think if we don't, and God willing it's not going to happen, but if we don't, we're not going to get anybody. Do you see that's the scenario, that we're not going to get many players in if we don't get through the game against the Kazakhs?
That's it. And a wee bit of food, you know, you can't always tell with YouTube, but they look quite a big physical side. I don't know who they're playing. They won 3-0, I think it was an Albanian side. But they look kind of handy up front. And to me, that level of player, had they played against us in the last round, they might have scored, because I thought we were brutal.
Brutal wasn't the word, mate, Terry.
I don't want to hold your line. I've got a tendency to blare on one of these things.
Yeah, does it make a change that for Clyde cutting you off after 2 minutes though?
Aye, that's right. They used to put me on 5 minutes before the break. Not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes. So I didn't have enough time to talk. Or if I did, and I was too controversial, they could always go, let's go to the news. I used to always have to ask again on my point in Radio Clyde, but that's history now.
The scum of the earth, mate. I mean, when you see all the stuff that Charlotte Fake has released regards them, and all the Sevco fans and the propaganda, it's an insult to the intelligence, isn't it? Really, what they went through. I mean, share as if you can, Terry, and your experience, because people have heard from me, but for yourself, I mean, when you phone through and then. Well, tell me the time when they banned you. I mean, the last time, how many times did you get banned? Were you banned more than once? But the last time you were banned, how did that come about? What did you say that forced them to put their stupid ban on you?
Well, the first time that I get banned, it was because I phoned up about Mike McCurry, and I listed 6 or 7 games, might have even been 8 games, where he'd made decisions that all, funnily enough, benefited Rangers. So I went through them all, and I finished up by saying, to be fair to Keevans, he kind of set a trap for me, and I walked into it. He said, so you calling him a cheat? And had I used my brains a wee bit, I'd have said, no, I'm not going to say that, because that'll get me barred off this show. But everybody's at 2020 hindsight, 2020 vision with hindsight. But what I did say was, I says, well, to my mind, the guy's either a cheat or he's a coward. He's one of the two.
I remember that call.
I says, because... So I get barred then, and I was barred for like 3.5 seasons. And then Jim Delahunt took on, I phoned him up, and he said, he didn't know who I was, obviously, and I just said, look, I says, I was barred off your show. I says, this is the circumstances. I says, I called him a cheat, shouldn't have done it. I says, I won't do it again. He says, let me have a word with the guy and phone me back in a week. So I phoned back in a week, and he said, the general consensus is we don't want you on the show. I says, why is that? And he says, well, that's just what the guy said, I don't want to get into detail. I said, well, fair enough. He says, leave it a month and phone me back. So I phoned him back. I said, he told me to phone back in a month. He says, I'll let you on the show. So I was then back on it, and I was on it for that season. Usual going on noising up Keevans and challenging the status quo kind of situation. So then I noticed there was a guy who took the phone calls. I think he's a Sivconian. Can't even remember his name, you know. One of the lackeys that took the phone call, and he would always come on, be dead pleasant, and say, I'll do my very best to get you on the show tonight. So this must have went on for about 20 calls, stretched there maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And I noticed that there was a couple of guys, one of an old Egypt from St John phones up. He actually phoned up with the same point 2 nights in his draw, and he got short shrift right enough. But his point was that did Desmond White come back from Argentina with a suitcase full of notes? And right, so what a crap. And he was on the next night with the same point. So I phoned up, and I said, look, I says, I'm phoning up this show. I says, if I'm barred, just tell me I'm barred and I'll stop phoning. Well, no, you're no barred. So this kept going and kept going. It sounds ridiculous, right? Most people would have gave up, but about 40 calls later, I sent an email into, I can't even remember who it was, and Lorraine Herbison replied, and she said, we've decided, first of all, she was a bit just like towing the party line, saying, oh, you can't expect to go on. I says, I don't expect to go on every week. I says, but a reasonable amount of time. I says, I phoned your show 40 times, never got on. I says, there's guys that are going on just about every other night. I says, I believe it's because I'm a bit hot to handle at times. I says, like an awkward customer. I says, in human nature being what it is, people take the path of least resistance. I says, but you're setting yourselves up as a show. The fans phone in. It's either the fans phone in or it's not the fans phone in. Because if a fan like me can't phone in, I say there's no fans phone in, you're living a lie. So a wee bit of an exchange went on, and then I got an email back saying, we've decided that you're not getting on the show again because you could say something that would get the show in trouble.
It's the same excuse you used for me. Same exact excuse you used for me.
I said, I said, I've been on the show for the past year. I says to Jim Delahunt, I wouldn't say anything that would get the show in trouble in terms of accusing somebody being a cheater or whatever. I says, I wouldn't do that. I says, that's why I was barred before. And she says, no, it's not only that. You swore on the show before. I says, look, I don't know who told you that, where you get that information from. I said, but I've never swore on any of your shows. No, would I swear on your show? I said, that's not my style.
Same as me.
So,
she put that to me. Oh, don't tell her. She put the same shit to me. Right? Everything that you've said there, the same shit. And I said the same fucking thing back. I'm swearing now because they're lying bastards. Listen, I spoke to that bitch last week. Do you want her on the now to talk to the now? I can get her on here a 3-way call if you want the now, bro.
No,
right, carry on with your stuff. Carry on, sorry to interrupt, bro. I'm just fucking, I can't believe it.
So,
bastards.
So what I said was, no, that didn't happen. I said, in fact, I want an apology for you for that. So you might not want to show you, fair enough, I says, but don't accuse me of something I never done. Don't bar me for something that I never done. I says, to my mind, you're barring me because certain people on your show, like Darryl King and that, they don't like it when you like quiz them. So I think that's why I was barred.
I've got his number. If you want to quiz him, I can facilitate a 3-way call with that bastard. I can give you a 3-way call with that bastard as well. I've got his number over in Tampa Bay, where he's now a flower seller of all things. Can you believe it?
I was he selling orange lilies?
Aye, for Holland. He's working for Flora Mets, selling. He's a manager or something for orange lilies. Aye, orange lilies for a Dutch company. He's a bastard. But it's shocking, mate. I can't believe. Sorry for interrupting you. I couldn't believe. They're just that's just wrong, mate. It's just totally wrong, mate. What they do there, and I mean, it's
what happens. Like the show, even when I was getting on, I knew the show was stage managed because you can tell with the type. See if you go on, it used to be my tactic. Then I would get, like, obviously I started to get known of you, but I used to phone up with a negative point about Celtic, especially if it was a new lackey it was on. They didn't know who it was.
You were on within 2 minutes, though, weren't you?
I'd phone up and say, oh, Celtic are this, Celtic are that. And then when I got to the air, of course, my point would be totally different to that. I would just say something negative. You can always guarantee go on Clyde. See if you go to anybody that's listening, if they want to go on Clyde, go to me a negative Celtic point. They'll take you on all night. You just need to listen to some of the idiots that are looking for a clap in the back. These Celtic supporters that phone up with something negative about Celtic. To me, my old man says to me one time, if you're going to be negative about Celtic, do it amongst your mates, do it amongst Celtic fans. Don't do it live on air. I would never do it anyway, but I'm negative enough when it comes to like forums and that, and amongst our own, I'll be negative, but I would never dream of phoning Radio Clyde and be negative about Celtic. I'll go and defend Celtic, or talk Celtic up, or challenge any inaccuracies about Celtic.
Yeah, because you've got enough opportunity to do it. I mean, it's not as if there's no opportunity. There's any number of times when they've got a discussion on there and they're talking shite. So instead of you helping them, which you're doing, I mean, if you use your nod on, you think, well, they're attacking my club. Surely as a fan, you're a defender of your club. You hear it. I mean, that's why I phone in and for years and years and years until a good brother called the parents said, just forget them and concentrate your own stuff, because you're going there helping them, you're helping them out. But as soon as I used to hear them doing their shite, on my stupid mind, I'm like, dirty bastards, I'm going to challenge them now just because I've got a voice and not that I'm clever at all, but just because I'm a cheeky bastard. I think, well, they're not getting away with that. I'm not letting them. He's ripping the piss out of my club. He's telling lies. Keevans is selling this fucking thing with. They're all on the take. They're all doing dodgy shit. So my idea was just to phone in, and so it's not as a case of all the Celtic fans who've been negative. It's not as a case of they've not got any ample opportunity. They've got every opportunity, and that used to do my nothing. And just to confirm what you said, and I remember sitting there with a fellow taxi driver, and I said to him, I said, meet us up, right? Because I go to a stage, I had to get other people to do it. So I said, here, look. He's like, oh Jesus, you want me to do it again? He's like, look, tell me where and I'll come to you. So I used to go and find him. Boom. I said, right, this is what you say. Is when I can't be bothered you, because I got to a stage, right? I was getting through, but then when they phoned me back, they heard my voice and they went, aye, well done, Tommy, you're not getting on. So I got to a stage, anybody who got me on had to stay there to get through, right? And so he's like, I can't wait. I said, I need to work. It's a Thursday night. I need to make my way in. I was like, look, it's that I can remember it was that bastard Darryl King. I was like, I need to get fucking through to him. I says, don't worry, I says, just give a heavy anti-point. He's like, look, I can't wait. I said, well, be as anti-Celtic as you can and it'll fucking work. And so, sure enough, he did. Within seconds, it wasn't even 10 seconds, the phone's rang back. He hadn't even gave me the phone back, because he was just like, they said they're going to phone us right back, and the phone's ring. Before he's even given it back, he's like, oh, well done, he was away for another job. It's like, no, man, answer it. He answered it. He's like, aye. And then, because obviously we want to check, he's like, right, stay there, we'll put you right on. He's passed to me, drove away, I was home within seconds, and it was just to make a point against Celtic. So you're right, I mean, no, I'm advocating anybody to do it, but Radio Scotland, they've all been at it. Every single one. Real radio, they were just as bad. They're all dirty schmucks.
I'll tell you a story, Tom. There was one time, Real Radio used to be called Scott FM, I think it was, and it used to have a phone-in thing. I think it was a Saturday afternoon. It was during the close season, and I happened to tune into it. And it was like during the time when Celtic were building the North Stand. My boy was he's 23 now, so he was only a toddler. He was about 7 or 8, maybe 9. And I used to take him in to the Celtic, and it was like stand in the pile of sands and just watch. And I says to him, see, one day, I says, you're going to be up there, and I was going to be noise cascading down these steps like you've never heard in your life. And so it was just in my mind that day. I'd been like at the park the day before, and these ones were on Scott FM about Celtic's problems this, Celtic's problems that. So I went on and they went, so Terry, where do you see Celtic's problems lying? I went, look, I'm not on here to talk about Celtic's problems. I says, you guys are doing a good enough job of that. I said, I want to talk about positives, and I related the story about me and my boy getting in. I says, if there's any Celtic fan in any doubt about renewing their season book, I says, go in and stand at the Rangers end and look at that magnificent construction and imagine being in there and what it's going to be like the European night. And this is my best call ever in terms of, like, it made me chuffed. I met a guy, I've got a mate in Canada called Tony Hughes. We were out a night, and we met this boy who's a truck driver. He like drives for Safeway, drives a big Arctic, and he said, I heard you that day. He says, and I bought a season book because of that. No, so you never know the power of what you say can have an effect on people. And I used to phone Radio Clyde thinking, because my dad like sowed in me from an early age to question, because somebody says something doesn't mean it's so. I've always had a questioning attitude, especially when it comes to Celtic. And you grow up in Glasgow, you know.
You need that.
I used to see guys. I worked in the Cali, 3,000 guys, so it was a good environment to sharpen your wits. But you used to see guys in there that got their opinion at the Daily Record. Whatever the Daily Record was saying about Celtic, that's what they thought was true. And I've never thought like that. I've always thought, what's the reason he's saying that? What's his angle? And if I've got my own mind, so I used to think, if maybe it's a bit egotistical, but I think my dad instilled that in me. If I phone up the phone and maybe some young boy will be listening and go, are you fucking right? I'm going to phone up and challenge them. Just give them a different thought to what they're used to thinking because of the shite that gets spouted on Clyde and like the propaganda that tries to tell you Celtic are penny pinchers. So we've all bought into it. Celtic are this, Celtic are that. They like accentuate every possible negative and diminish every positive. I mean, last week, I'm pretty sure, unless I think I missed the start of the BBC, but I'm pretty sure the night after we qualified against Elfsborg, they didn't even mention it in BBC Sport. They mentioned something about the England team on the Scottish Sports Desk. But anyway, that's maybe my paranoia, but just that's what I liked about the phone, and I liked the fact that you could go in and challenge, but they stopped that. And to me, their show is lesser for it. I think a football show should be about a pantomime. Like, I know Rangers fans like hated me. I've got mates that are unbelievable that this might be. I know 4 brothers, 2 of them are Rangers fans, 2 of them are Celtic fans. I drink with the 2 Rangers fans, and one of them goes on that follow, and they said to me one night that I get voted #1, like fucking Celtic lunatic or whatever. I says, tell them I'll accept the word, the video link. He says, I don't admit that I know you, otherwise I'd get barbed after. So, to me, as long as you don't get the score, I think shows should be a bit edgy. Get guys on that are a bit controversial and challenge it. Otherwise, I call Radio Clyde Radio Beige. I've sent them emails and I don't do anything. I don't bother with them. They don't even listen in. But I used to send them emails out and go, like, your show's beige. Do you want a phone in or do you want the path of least resistance? You're all clamming one another on the back, laughing at jokes that are 100-year-old. Your part of as funny as a hole in a carry-out bag.
I know.
But
that does aim. That's all they want. They don't want anything controversial, and it just shows you, you know, they claim that you swore, and they don't want people on who, or they claim anyway, that are going to say something that will damage your reputation. I mean, like you say, they're damaging their own reputation. They're putting on a facade of a radio show, and everybody can see it's BS, and that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now, sitting here, so that people have got an alternative, so that I can meet people like yourself and other Celtic fans. I mean, I used to listen to you and see when people like yourself and other people put in a good point, I would try and get in on the back of that and follow it up. I can remember maybe one or two calls try to back you up, or I can even remember yourself coming on the back, but other people used to do it, and you used to hear, because there used to be a good few Celtic fans who could nail the bastards to the wall, but and then I'm glad that, well, I was able to find in you as well, to find a way around it, was to, you know, kid on you were going to say something and then just do them up like a kipper. I used to love those times when, you know, and for me, it was like a mini war against them, a peaceful war that is, you know, I knew for a fact that they didn't want me on, they would do anything, so I just thought it was a challenge. So if I had to go and get a new SIM card or top it up or meet one of my mates, just because, I knew they were lying, and they were treating everybody like kids, they were patronising bastards, and I knew they were lying, and I just don't, like yourself, to question everything. If somebody's saying something, okay, once I put it through my mind, ran it through, it doesn't make sense, hold on a fucking minute, I want to challenge you, because you're taking, especially if it's something that means a lot to you, it means something to you, even if you've got a wee bit of love in your heart for Celtic, surely you should at least say, fuck them, I'm going to, you know, take them on. That's what I used to do anyway. I used to hear Keevans talking shite. I remember one time I picked up his sister-in-law, right? And I couldn't make it out if he was a Tim or not. I thought, he's got to be a Hun. It was before I knew that he was Simon. Some people said, oh, he's definitely a Tim. And I'm like, I don't think he can be a Tim because his. And then one time I picked up a wee woman and she went, oh, you listening to my brother-in-law? And I'm like, your brother-in-law, who's that? Keevans? She went, aye, and I went, and she said something, I went, I can't really be a Celtic fan. She went, oh, why'd you say that? I says, because every time he's on there, he's negative, criticising and moaning about them. Oh, he's a big Celtic fan. And I went, well, you tell him for me. I says, tell him to cheer up his face and stop going on bad stuff, because all he kept going on is bad stuff, and that's all he does. And we all know why. I mean, that was going back maybe about 10 years ago. In my naivety, I'm thinking maybe he'll change by me saying, oh, tell him to cheer up. But no, the reason why he's like that, it's not because he's on the soup, it's because he's on the things are shilling. They might be on the soup as well, but he's putting all his daughters' marriages and everything, and he'll say whatever needs to be said because he's there for the money, pure and simple, because he knows if he had an opinion anywhere close to like me and you, he would end up banned. And that's the simple facts of being on the radio. If you're a Tim, if you're John Hartson, if you're anybody who has been part of the Celtic family, community, players or whatever, then you only get on in the media if you criticise. Would you go along with that, bro?
I mean, I've got a level of sympathy for the likes of Keevans, because I know he's been there since he's a young boy in an industry that employs very few Catholics. He's had to swallow it for his whole life, and he's made a living at it. Fair play to him. But my point of view is that if he says something about Celtic, I'll go on and challenge it, regardless of the understanding I've got for his position, that Hugh, and a lot of the times, is like the pantomime villain. He'll say things for effect, so guys like me will phone up. People think I didn't realise that, but I did realise that, but I just thought, I'm going to go along with this and wind him up. And like,
same as
put
me.
him up on trivial things, and I know the score. I know that if you take a job, I know what reality of life is. He's took a job and he's had to swallow a lot, and he's had to toe the party line, say the right things. Like, you just need to look at like say anybody that's involved with Celtic, they're usually, if they get a job in the media, they're overly critical, whereas guys like Derek Johnson can basically be, the only missing for him is a hat, a scarf and one of their rattles. They can like be overtly supportive and nothing gets said. That's the reality of this stuff. But so I know exactly how it worked, but I'd like to just go and annoy that status quo and that comfort and that Kevin used to say he used to say things like I had a voodoo doll on him, and
That's right.
I actually didn't really. I said to him, I said, look, there's no you here, there's no you as a personality. You're probably an alright guy to have a pint with in the right circumstances. I said, but it's what comes out your mouth a challenge. I said, I use myself diametrically opposed to whatever you're saying. I said, so it's no that I'm playing you the man. He played me. He would criticise. He would never take on the substance of my argument. I was like the original paranoid fundamentalist. I was so he would try and he used to say things like, "Or bet your neighbours take your kids in off the street when they see you walking down the road." I was like, "No, my neighbours love me." So he would play the man, but that's an old tactic. That's like if somebody's got a point and you don't want to answer it, you attack the individual. You try and caricature him, or you're paranoid, or exaggerate your point to the nth degree.
Yeah.
And Jim Duffy, I said to him one night, I said, "Oh, you're getting well schooled there, Jim," because a guy came on and accused the ref of being biased, and Jim Duffy went, "All referees are biased." Nobody are. I wasn't before the guys get time to come back. He's got cut off, and the points moved on. The guy's been classed as a paranoid Celtic fan, and I used to go on to challenge that and to try and, in a sensible way, not lose my cool and challenge that, so that people would say, "Oh, there is bias," and I would put forward why I thought there was bias, because it's human nature. It stands to reason.
Yeah.
To my mind, especially having up in Glasgow, they're all mad about football.
Yeah.
I says, it's polarised. You're a Rangers fan or you're a Celtic fan for the majority. I says, and you put a whistle in a referee's mouth and he's a Rangers supporter. It's human nature. If it's a 50-50 challenge in the box and the Rangers player goes down, he's given a penalty because he sees it as a penalty. He could be wired up to a lie detector and he would say the truth. I thought it was a penalty. Whereas I could be wired up to a lie detector, tell the truth. I thought it was a fair tackle. That's where bias comes in.
And you know that my last proper call to them before I get banned, right? I was on about a week before, and I said to him, and I was about to call him a soup taker, right, for something that he'd commented, right? But then the call that I'd made,
I heard that time you did call him. That was good.
Aye, and at the time, so I was going to do that a week before it, and then people were like, because I was like, just wait to hear what I finished calling him. And then they were like, what were you going to call him? And I was like, I was going to call him a soup taker. I've had enough of his fucking shite. But then he came on and he was battering on about it was a thing about at McCulloch and how he was given a reprieve. And I went on to argue about how he shouldn't even been playing on that game. And because I think that the point I was making, and he was like, but they couldn't do it because, we're going through the holidays. And I went, and because they couldn't put McCulloch through the tribunal to give him the ban, so the Rangers worked a loophole, and as a result, McCulloch played that game, and Kayal got injured. And up to that point, this was pre-Big Wanyama, he was our key midfielder, and he was doing rather well. And that bastard who had already been, I can't remember the exact savagery of the assault that the bastard did previously, who should have been banned. Remember, I think he get sent off the week before, but they appealed it. But because, and then Keevans was making the excuse, whatever. And I said, well, look what happened in England. And they were like, it's a bank holiday. I said, excuse me, the game was on the Saturday. the bank holiday was on the Wednesday and the Thursday or something like that. It was open on the Friday or the Thursday. There was either 1 or 2 days clear where they could have met it. And I says, and he's been allowed, and then he's like, oh, but he's arguing. And then I thought, I'm sure the bastard that you were saying, and I've always been used to that, like, if you put an argument across, they'll know, and you know you're 100% right. They know that, so they play the man and they do whatever. So he did that, and the real reason why I went out and did that, and the same reason for that bastard, I did it the exact same. The next day I went on, I called that bastard trainer a racist fat cunt. I was just right the next day, boom, boom, boom. People were like, what the fuck's he all about? He set his stall out this year. And I wasn't getting a shit because I'd got to the level where a trainer, as soon as I went on, the fucker cut me off. So I thought, right, if all I'm going to get is 2 seconds, I'll just fucking racist fat cunt. And then a bit with Keevans, I was waiting to do that for a week before because he'd done my nut in, because clearly, the bastard, like you say, I mean, you give him his due, I'll give him his due as a human being. And he sat there and took it, well, for me and the money, and that makes him worse than the fucking... Because it's fun, well, for me, who's got a principle, I can see what you're saying, bro, right? But to actually sit there and take it, then he's a fucking lowlife. He's a scumbag. He's a scumbag bastard, because to take the money and live a lie when all that's happened. I mean, I had to live a lie myself when a lot of time people come at my taxi and were racist, and I have to sit there and just think, well, fucking... but that was because I knew that the way society is, the racism comes from the top, and it's all fed down. So all these dumb schmucks are in my motor are part of just, they're just dumb schmucks. So racist, everybody, so forget about it. But he sat there with his propaganda, knowing how it's set up, and lived his life for 40 years as a lie. And yeah, okay, as like you say, there are no many Catholics or Celtic-minded people in the media, and yeah, he's worked his way through it, and he's kept his head down and done it. Maybe fair play to him for that, but for me, I think for actually selling out your background, and then it obviously done, he's not in that much. I mean, I've got the recording, somebody recorded it straight away, so we got that, but for the rest of the programme, he was spitting bullets out because he said, oh, my grandfather was from Sligo, and that saying is really bad. I called him a soup-taking Uncle Tim, or Uncle Tom, or whatever it was, and it really done he's not in. But the truth had to be told, because if he sat there, I mean, and the reason why people get called soup takers was, we all know that, there was people who came who were forced to recant their religion just to survive. And okay, it's a terrible situation, God love anybody who's placed in that, but well, I know my principles. I walked about Seville for about 10 hours. I mean, it's a totally different situation, but I couldn't eat any of the bacon and I couldn't get any food, and I was starving. But my principles were, because I was trying to order a pizza, but I couldn't order a margarita. They hit me with one with ham. I'm like, I can't take the fucking ham. So if you've got principles, then no matter any money you put, for me, for an example, I believe in a way of life, and if somebody says, here's $1 million, forget it, to recant whatever my way of life is. No problem. I'm not going to accept your fucking shit. Doesn't matter. You put $1 billion there, because if you've got a set of principles that means dear to you, for your family, if he cared for his father who came for Sligo, or the people who died, then maybe he wouldn't have sold his whole life out to make the filthy coin. I don't know, but I can see your point of view, bro, where you're saying that, he's
I think what happens, Tommy, is it's like, you get conditioned over time.
True.
If you're in a job and you're constantly getting told a certain thing and a certain viewpoint, it must have its effect on you. You can see it with the Celtic supporters sometimes, that they'll say, talking about Lorraine, they'll say, oh, he's paranoid, or you're paranoid, or they'll pick up some kind of phraseology that's been repeated, that's drip, drip, drip early years, but it does have an effect. Like that's the biggest problem the Sifconians have got, is they're the opposite of us. They've been. I see the couple of boys I drink with, and these guys are intelligent guys, but when you try and tell them about the situation, it's as if a blind comes down, or their ears get stuffed up. They can't comprehend, and it's partly, I think, because they've been conditioned to think that they're superior to us, that they've got a sense of entitlement that doesn't always surface, but it surfaces and it manifests itself in, somebody will come along and bail us out. They'll not take action the way the Celtic support took action and like tough out a board. They're too busy looking up towards, they're forelock tuggers, They'll look up to see who's better than them. That's how, like, see David Murray. If he'd have been at Celtic, he'd have been ran out of town on. He'd have been strapped to a horse, ran out of town. But you never hear any criticism of him. This whole omni shambles that's there, it's all a lot of stems with him. But they're two, and they're still at it.
I know.
Mr. Green. You could see for a mile off that he was a chancer, a charlatan, a guy out to make a few bob, and yet, as I say, they're a product of their conditioning. In the years, they're like, oh, he's saying he's one of us, man, he's for Yorkshire, but make the right noises. He's a new man. it's not just stupidity with some of them. But you've got to ask yourself, with the ones that aren't stupid, how's it working on them? And I think it's almost like bordering on hypnotism, that they're that conditioned to expect that their place is going to somehow be restored, that they can't take the bitter pill that says, this is our fucking situation, we can't afford to have a budget any more than a couple of £1 million if we're going to work our way up the league and stay in business. Because they're looking at, they've lost 22 million for last year. Even if they cut half of that, again, they're going to struggle to get to the end of the season. And it's just because they've got a big setup in a wee league, and they can't get the turnover to sustain that size of operation. So they're basically, as I said before in Radio Clyde, they're getting money again. But there's this sense of entitlement. They'll refuse to look at the hard reality. They'll rather point the finger at somebody whose fault it is, but they don't take any steps to resolve that. I don't know how they're going to get out of that situation. Not that I care that much.
I know.
And that's the thing as well. You hear people talking, and again, this is conditioning for the media. You hear Celtic supporters saying, "Why do we need to sign a £5 million player? Because we don't need a £5 million player to win the Scottish Premier League." Their horizons are beyond the Premier League now. We are trying to make Mary an impact, become Mary a force in Europe.
We should be looking to this. This should be the priority. Now, like you say, we got that taste with Barca.
And I think Bogson type signing, if they make the exception of centre forward, that might just be a thing that takes you to the last 8.
Yeah.
Some of these games, I mean, we saw it ourselves, Celtic hanging in there. If we just had a bit of quality in terms of somebody putting the ball away, you could end up in a quarter-final. So you've took another step to the last 16, you might get to the last 8. I think realistically the last 16 is probably a stretch, but maybe I think Bogson might take us that extra wee bit. You've always got to be, like, let's say next year, either success, somebody comes in, buys them for 10 million. So that's been an immediate return on, and the guys, we've got a return after for a season. Hopefully stays 2 seasons. But that's the kind of scenario that I can see with him. Mm-hmm. And continue signing the midfielders, the defenders. And the boy for Holland seems to have a good pedigree. He's injured in the Virgil. That type of signing is what you want. Somebody young that is respected in his country.
And even by pushing the boat out from this season,
push it out for that one guy.
Aye. Even for this one season, they should look for a player like that for a 2-year plan, because maybe we miss out this year on the Europe because we never got them in and we never got the players in. If you look 2 years ago, we go into the Europa. Remember, we fell at that hurdle, but that served as well. And then last season, all our players hit the ground running, and it was a bedded in team. Now we're going on the basis we're having to get the players in at a late stage, and we are dicing with death. I would probably say it's a 50-50 now. If we don't get in with Finn Bogason that can score the goals, and we're playing a team that's a step up, if we play like we did against Elfsborg, then we're going to lose that money. So we should be looking to say, well, okay, that 5 million, like you said, we can maybe double our money, or maybe make a few million still on top of them next year, but we should be trying our best is to push our stuff up the coefficient so that next season we don't have to pay 3 games. Maybe if we get, like you say, quarter-finals, last 8, last 16, whatever, then that pushes our coefficient up where we want to be, so we don't have to qualify. So they should be looking at that bigger picture that, yeah, now we've got 3, but if we get into this one, if we really push the boat out and speculate to accumulate, well, we've still got the money there. We guarantee it this season. It makes it even easier for next season. But it just seems that there's either someone of a bit of a cowardice that's not got the balls to go for it and take that plunge. No, it's not much a gamble. A gambles. It can't be that much a gamble. If the guys got it, then give them the money. If we can't even afford them, to take them for 2 years, put the clause in the contract and say to them, sell them, say, look, in 1 year, we'll have you with agents touted in that Premier League and we'll sell you, we'll put a price on you, 8 million, 9 million. How's that a gamble? You're winning every way. So I think that's the pressure we need to do, Celtic fans. Anybody want Peter Lawwell's number? I've got his office number. You've not got his mobile number, have you, Terry? Peter Lawwell's number. I've been trying to get a hold of him, but I've been getting blackballed by his lovely secretary, Eleanor. She'll not let me speak to him. And I said to her, I says, it feels like one of these bloody radio programmes when I'm getting blackballed, I can't get through. I just want to conduct a wee chat with old Pedro, but it doesn't seem to be happening. You don't have his mobile, do you?
No, I don't have his mobile.
I'll get it somewhere. But Terry, listen, just before we go, I'll let you go. Thanks a lot for joining us and taking the time with me. Just before I go, I would be amiss to ask you just one other question vis-a-vis the Green Brigade. Well, 2 questions. Are you pro, are you anti, or are you down the middle? And do you think it's a wrong decision that the board have done by giving them dispersal notices?
I think it's... I'm pro Green Brigade, first of all, let me say that. I think what's happened, and hopefully, I think during Paul Taylor, I think he's doing some good work in the background, trying to get the 2 parties. I think it's basically, on the face of it, looks like a heavier threat, but I think it's a shot across the bows. I think Celtic realise the value of the Green Brigade, but they don't want, whoever's bringing the pressure to bear, they don't want this lateral movement. But I've heard the Green Brigade's argument saying that isn't it, that's they're making it a bigger issue than what it is. But I think there's a compromise to be made, and that the Green Brigade should, if it's a lateral movement, it's a sticking point, just say, fuck it, right, we'll do it. We'll not be doing a lateral movement. How much is that going to affect it? I mean, I sit right next to them, and there's like wee boys. There's a wee boy the other week. This is the beauty, the things that you don't hear about Green Brigade. There's a wee boy at 3. It was his first game sitting with his dad, and his dad started laughing, and he says to me, he's just asked me if he can take his top off, because he spotted somebody in the Green Brigade with his top off. So the wee boy was sitting watching them rather than the football, because they were captivating, like dancing up and down and shouting and singing. And that's what they bring. They bring colour, they bring youth, they bring vibrancy.
Do you know what they bring to me, mate?
There's a library situation at Rangers.
They bring me of a misty-eyed nostalgia for the times. And I look back, when I was 16, I was privileged enough to be there on their birthday on the 23rd of April in 1988. And I went into the Celtic end. I ended up away round by the start of the second half of the Rangers end. When the first pitch invasion ended, I was right in the main stand, and I was in there, and I was in the jungle, and I sang there, I swayed in the jungle, and even get battered with a police horse outside it. But the whole thing, it gives me a misty-eyed nostalgia. When I sit there like a wee 3-year-old boy, I don't really want to take my top off, but I sit there going, that's what I fell in love for football, for having the fun and having a sing-song. And to go to a degree last season, no, that season, the season before, all I did was take my way into the away games because I get sick of the home games the previous season, and I thought, well, I'll give her a baptism of fire, take her around Scotland, seeing all the games. But for me, what the Green Brigade do, it gives me a misty-eyed nostalgia, because I used to love the jungle. It was a different buzz, but different thing. But what the Green Brigade do, to ban it, it's a hell of a ban. It's a hell of a thing to do, isn't it? Do you think it's just a grandstanding move by the board?
I hope it is. I hope. The thing for me is that the both sets, the Celtic board and Green Brigade, we should concentrate on the similarities with our love for Celtic and say, how can we overcome these obstacles? How can we work rather than you'll get like as you get with young people. I read some of the statements, and it's a bit like accusing the board of this, and I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a board member and I'm reading that, I might act a bit aggressively, but you don't want that. You've got to factor in these are young guys. They've got a bit of aggression. They've got a bit of life about them that tends to like get mellowed out you as you get older. You've got to factor that in. You've got to respect Celtic's point of view that for whatever reason they're insisting on a certain level of behaviour that they don't want to get crossed. To me, it can be resolved, and hopefully it will get resolved, because to me they're a vital part of the support, and I want to see them continue. And I think, and I hope that there will be a compromise there. And I think that's what I like to John Paul Taylor, fans liaison officer. He's a good guy, John. I know John. I'll tell you a wee story about him. He's got a cousin called Jerry McDonald. I used to work beside Jerry in the Cali, Springburn. Me and Jerry were mates, and John Paul, he was a couple of years younger than us, and he was wanting to go to the dancing in the pub and that with us. And I used to say, "You're not going, you'll get us a knockback." And then he get a job at CELTIC Park for a ticket. For fuck's sake. How could I go and ask him for a ticket now? But he's a good guy, John. One of us, and heart in the right place, and would do anything. He's back where he belongs, working at Celtic. So hopefully he can bring the two factions together. I don't think they're that far away, and get something sorted out, because as I say, you want to promote that about the club. I mean, see that display they did for the Barcelona 125 years? I mean, that was just stupendous. Stupendous display. And that kind of imagination is lacking at the club. So you've got to utilise young people, because they've got ideas like, I mean, exactly. Some of these songs just can't get enough. And I mean, it's
imagination. Like, you said an imagination and freshness. Yeah,
aye, that's what you get with young people, and you've got to give them their head a wee bit. But obviously, at the same time, you get corporate Celtic that would like to remove. They want to like be PC too much. That I'm doing in the Irishness. That's the way I see it. But to me, that's the thread that keeps us together. That's what makes us different. So I think, and I hope, as I say, that they can resolve any issues we've got with the Green Brigade, and vice versa. Green Brigade can swallow a wee bit of their youthful vim and vigour, and like want to challenge authority, and just say, right, okay, we want to continue. If we don't accept this, we're going to be dispersed. That's a threat. So work it out some way. Because once you're there, you could probably creep it back in again. A lateral movement. I thought that was a brilliant chant. Lateral movement in the Champions League. I mean, only Celtic supporters could come up with that. I think, and I hope, as I say, that it gets resolved. Listen, Tom, it was good talking to you.
God bless.
I was intending doing some work. But
I'm sorry,
I'm
mate.
just stick to my watch here.
I know,
I
mate.
might stay up a bit later and do it.
Well, listen, you've been on for 67 minutes. 67 minutes of sheer, unadulterated quality for Terry and you. So let you go and do the work, Terry, right? God bless. And listen, we'll do it again soon. Maybe no, you've been brilliant value, mate, and I can't thank you enough.
No problem, Thomas. Cheers.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, mate. And that was Terry O'Neill. He's just joined Twitter. I've got his Twitter there. I'm going to get the parrot on in 5 minutes. 2 minutes, just play a wee tune. But yeah, I'll retweet. I'll get his Twitter there. And anybody want to give him a follow, he's just joined. Get some followers on Terry for all you listening in. A great guy. And I can't thank him enough. If I'd known he had much work there to do it. But you just can't, as a Green Brigade say, you just can't get enough of quality like that. You just can't get quality like that. I mean, Radio Clyde banned him. I feel privileged and honoured. There was never any way that I was going to kick him off after 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Never in a million years. When you get quality like that, you got to appreciate it. Won't Clyde not back? Then fine. Go and listen. Are they still on? Who cares? They're finished. One cell deal. We'll be phoning him. I can't even be bothered with him. No, spoil it, mate. 67 minutes of sheer, unadulterated quality. Terry and Neil, God bless her. God bless. Right. Here, I'll play a wee tune. Back in 2 minutes.
If your mansion house needs haunting, just call Rent a Ghost. We've got spooks and ghouls and freaks and fools at Rent a Ghost. Hear the Phantom of the Opera sing a haunting melody. Remember, what you see is not a mystery, but Rent a Ghost.
Continuing the recorded interviews with ghosts.
If your mansion house needs haunting, just call Rent a Ghost. We've got spooks and ghouls and freaks and fools at Rent a Ghost. Hear the Phantom of the Opera sing a haunting melody. Remember, what you see is not a mystery, but Rent a Ghost. At your party, be a smarty and hire Rent a Ghost. If you want a fun, climb the spooky heights with Rent a Ghost. You can let our spirits move you, and for fun play Ghostman's Knock. Because we aim to shock, we hope your knees will knock. That's Rent a Ghost. Let me say the most horrific, simple ghost, not scientific, merely supernatural buoys of the day. Heavy footsteps in your attic means a spectre telepathic is descending just to spirit you away. Hey! We are extraordinary fellas here at Rent a Ghost. To be another Eureka, come to Rent a Ghost. For a biography with ghost writers, I'm not forgetting a ghost script. An apparition quick from deep inside a crypt. Ring Rent a Ghost. An apparition quick from deep inside a crypt. Ring Rent a Ghost.
Yes, the ghost of Rangers past is still kicking about. The ghost of Rangers past is still kicking about. And we play this tune for the old asbestos-ridden flea pit called the Cludgy.
This old house once knew children. This old house once knew a wife. This old house was home of comfort as we focused on life. This old house once rang with laughter. This old house heard many shots. Now she trembles in the darkness when the lightning walks about her.
Show's extended to 9 o'clock, by the way. 9 o'clock. It was going to be 8:30, but we're now on to 9. 9 bells. Yes, let's go.
This old house is getting old. This old house that's in the rain. This old house that's in the cold. On my knees I'm getting chill. But I feel no pain. All I see an angel feet to do is broken with no pain. Ain't gonna leave this house no longer. Ain't gonna leave this house no more. Ain't got time to fix the shingles. Ain't got time to fix the door. Ain't got time on the hinges. Not too bad.
And we're back, a little bit of silence there brought to us from my friends and the noise abatement society. And I get misty-eyed nostalgic when I hear this tune as well, because I used to be a taxi driver. Now, I'm just a pure pirates are us from Dublin. Dublin and bubbling, pirates are us.
This is the vote.
Away you go, you half-wit. Right, so without further ado, from the parrot's perch, he's flying, hovering about. He's coming in to land. I can see him coming over the. There he is. Here he comes. The parrot is flying down here.
What's going down?
What's going down? You've landed. What's happening, the parrot?
No bad, man. Oh, some good tunes there. I was full up there, mate. Right, I Ghost in the Taxi, Andy Kaufman. Even though he hated the Joe Burry's famous roles. Nice start for John for the Charlatans, God rest his soul. What a drummer. My favourite band of that period. So, no, just
sadder.
Following on for Terry's call there. And obviously, your great show last night. I was expecting Paul Brennan, the courtesy to take your call, obviously, and have a Gabby last night, but I thought you'd have even got a wee mention in his blog today. You know, I actually read his stuff for a change to see if he got a mention, mate, but alas, no.
What did he say in the blog today? I missed it.
Nothing, just talking about Savile and, you know, back at them, and obviously the team were worrying where the money went, you know. It's been quite a busy day.
I commented that on Twitter. Was he on Twitter? I think it was. I think I did read that. I never read it from his page, but somebody copied it and pasted it on Twitter, and I read it, but I didn't tie two together. I thought it was for another Paul, but it would have been him. Sorry, I'm stupid bastard.
It's just the train of thought. And listen, everybody. I mean, you can be pro the business model what they're doing, and you can be anti the business model and what they're trying to do. But you can't tell me You can't tell me at any time in the 2 or 3 year period that this has come in, the John Park, etc., that they expected to get a phenomenon that is Victor Wanyama through the gates, play a couple of games, the money went up. So they probably thought they would be buying players for maybe £1 million, sell them on for maybe 3 or 4 million if they did really well, get guys like Joe Ledley and move them on after a couple of years. But the money that Wanyama's brought into that club alone was never expected at any time, and that's what was baffling me. If these long-term plans, you know, why is there nothing? This is like interest-free money. To quote one of your great shows in the past, you know, that this is money that's lying in there that's not been. It's a windfall. It's not been accepted. It's not been expected. It's not been penciled in for anything. So it should be put out. And I think it's quite apparent that the manager, the manager's been basically saying he was looking to get a couple of players in by the end of Monday night, and that's failed tremendously. And we're seeing today Mark McGlone obviously everybody knows Matt's quite close to Neil, saying like basically we need players. So this is what we're reduced to. We've got a boardroom releasing stuff through Paul, who's probably not getting paid off Celtic. We get a nice warm seat after him occasionally and a nice bit of luncheon, and we're getting people who drink with our manager or socialise with our manager having to relay what he's actually thinking, you know. I mean, I was having a couple of messages with Paul Larkin there, and I was saying that I'm halfway through the Bill Shankly book, Red or Dead, by David Peace, and it shows you Shankly get into a boardroom and demanding money for players the way Brian Clough did, the way Martin O'Neill did. You know, I need this to get me or not. So while as our manager has had a fantastic time, I do feel the hex of Barcelona may come round the neck and haunt us, because the suds thinner than school dinner custard. I don't care what MD says, Tommy, but we are basically down to the bones of our arse. You know, I called up the homeboys last week. I said about squad. The squad's been depleted even further. We're looking at now international keeper, probably looking as if he's going to Benfica. We're looking at Ambrose. I've seen the lads in the chat room saying about Crystal Palace being up for him. And this is all great, and if you're telling me, and everybody's going on about this fantastic model we've got, John Park's sitting there with probably 60 names he can call up and get players over, whether it be from the Israeli market or whatever, and the Celtic support have bought season tickets, and they have had absolutely nothing. Now, let's go through the players we've brought in. We've bought a player who looks not bad, but he's had a couple of bad years in England. Nobody comes to Scotland unless they're not wanted in England, obviously. And that guy's had a couple of decent moves floating about. He had terrible injuries. He's come up and he's doing okay. We've had 2 guys in for Holland, injured already. You know, and we've had a striker who's a raw project at £2 million. So the people are saying, oh yeah, we can afford a project for £2.2 million. The gentleman doesn't speak any English, but we can't afford £5 million or £5.5 million for a proven product in the European market who speaks English and can slot into a team right away and can guarantee us to get us through into the European Champions League, UEFA Champions League, where we belong.
I'm just looking through some of the Twitter, not the Twitter, some of the chat here. I don't read them. There was only last night or the other night. I never got a chance because I never opened up the page. But usually,
Freddie words, no anti-parrot PLC stuff now.
No, against you. No, this is a way back to the stuff with Terry was on. I'm just reading some of the stuff there. But we're looking at, as I said to you before, Tommy, we're looking at what's happened to when a football team in Glasgow entrusted everything to blindly believing what they were being told by one gentleman, as in David Murray. Yeah, all we're doing is questioning it. And being Celtic fans.
All these years. Our ancestors never trusted anybody since we've come off the boat for whatever gorgeous part of the world you were booted out to get here.
And last night, because I finished the show. Can I ask you something? I finished the show rather abruptly last night. With the last 20 minutes with Paul Brennan, but I never had a chance because obviously the good boys of the homeboys came on. But I mean, from what I was saying, because I think I spoke to you just prior to that. I mean, from what I was saying there, I wasn't being unduly harsh to him. I was just pointing out that from where it seems to me that where he got maybe his information, although he did seem to distance it by saying repeatedly, you really overestimate my closeness to Peter. But it's just going on the back of what a lot of people say and what's been heard. I mean, you shouldn't obviously realise, but all I was doing was putting two and two together. Maybe I was getting 5 in here, maybe I was wrong, and maybe me reading in between the lines, as I try to do, and try to be like a Celtic fan, to just ask a few questions, just say, well, hold on, maybe we should be getting the check. And heck, it's not even me. Look at the good brother was on for 67 minutes there, saying, why don't we just change it a wee bit, keep the same strategy, but go that way, because the reason why we're doing it, and I sat there watching the same game as everybody else. Terry is just emphasising my fears there, because watching that game, and I sat there commenting at shitting bricks going, we're shite, and the only thing that's saving us is their shite up front. So we're taking a hell of a gamble, and we don't know. We're going into the unknown, 8 hours flight, into another plastic fecking pitch, with a team already depleted, with injuries and all the players we've got ready. We're taking one hell of a fucking gamble for the sake of 10, even 20 million for just a 5 million. And we as Celtic fans, I think anyway, have every right to question. When I was questioning Paul last night, do you think I was being overly harsh, critical, or did I do everything?
Well, no, I think if you're in, and I'm only speaking, I can only speak less because I go in. I'm very graciously received in your own show, and I'll phone in the homeboys, and I jump in the homeboys occasionally, and I've written a couple of blogs, and everybody's welcome to an opinion. You put down what you think about it, and people can come back and say to you what you want. But if you put yourself in a provenance, and if you put yourself in a position to be able to express your ways with such a confidence, you are due people to come back to you. You look at the Celtic official account, and in the last 24 hours, the only two strikers we have seen come up in it is the fact that Kenny Dalglish is coming back and Pierre Van Hooydonk's coming back for the Stan Petrov game. And then an hour ago on the account, they sneaked in a picture of the European Cup with the Inter Milan top, and it says, "Believe to Lisbon, be Celtic." Now,
Believe get some fucking players in.
What's that?
I'll believe more if they get some more fucking players in. They know I'm losing belief in them, for fuck's sake. I want to believe. I want to go to Lisbon. I want to go back there, of course. Who doesn't? Every Celtic fan does. We don't need that. How didn't they just know? I don't know. It shows lack of belief for them.
Why are we going down the routes of this? You hear the Celtic Anthology History podcast going at the moment, and we're hearing how managers were compromised by not getting any money and being dictated to. And obviously, I don't think Peter Lawwell's reading out the team sheet, but he's obviously and listen, Neil Lennon knows that every player there's for sale. Let's not kid ourselves. Nobody's there that's not going anywhere, and it's the same in world football. Everybody's got a price, but the way he's been dictated to and he's been looking to make it is starting to get ridiculous now to me. And people in the chat room might think this is quite harsh, but players are going out the door and there's nothing coming in, mate. And I don't know. What can you say, Paul? It's very poor, but we've had that history podcast, we've got guys' names like Charlie Tully, Jimmy Johnson, Bobby Murdoch, God rest all their souls. And what have we got in the last 3 years? Now, if you'd have stood with your mum or your auntie at Celtic Park in the Jungle 25 years ago, and we'd have stood together and said, see, in 25 years we're going to sit together at the football and we're going to be talking about the business model of what Celtic's going to be, and we're not talking about, oh my God, we're going to sign a player tomorrow. And this is what we're reduced to. We're went from being probably one of the most inept, accurate, well-read football supports in the world to becoming cash and carry Financial Times analysts.
Well, it goes in the back of what we've had to endure with that other manky mob. We're all now pseudo accountants, pseudo financial experts, and pseudo whatever.
You've got a bigger Twitter account than I have, Tommy, right? But all I see on mine is I see actually more financial quotes for dead teams in Glasgow and Celtic than I actually do talking about this is a good player coming in, or we've got the chance of getting him. The support's been absolutely nullified. As I said to you, when I seen that lad's name appear last week, when Gary Hooper left, and when Callum got to the boy down at loan at Notts County, when I seen his name being prominent up forward, and it was like Paul Larkin's book, you know, when he says when Lou McCarry's looking for a player or Donnelly, we'll promote him, we'll make him look as if he's the next thing coming through. Now, this is all right when you've got a cash and carry board who's still, in all their badness and all their naughtiness, as I said to you last night, would reiterate and get half of every transfer fee coming in would be put back out and bringing players in. So, as I said, the windfall of Wanyama is an absolute godsend. It's an anomaly that will never happen again for years to come at Celtic.
Look at it this way, bro. Put the two of them together, and that's your profit. Wilson in a free, and him in 900,000. We sold combined 14 million profit, clear, in 2 years in two players. I mean, if that doesn't just wet your pants as a financial operator, as Lawwell is, and that's how Terry said there, we should make that, and you're right, it's no often we're going to get that. We get a double bonus, and they're sitting there bricking it for spending it in case they lose it and don't recoup it. Well, we're having to sit and endure a team that plays shite against Elfsborg. We're fucking humming and hawing. You can see Celtic's viewpoint. They'll not say anything till it's done and dusted. But as a support, if we are saying if it's costing an extra $1 million, then say, right, come in. And if it's costing him an extra $500,000 his wages, say to him, we can only keep you a year and then we're punting you on. And if that means we're guaranteed Champions League football this season, if he can come in and score a goal, because, I mean, if he's a striker, there's something that I noticed in that game there. Forrest was putting balls in, and there wasn't a proper striker for love nor money. There was no Stokes there, and Samaras, for all the love nor money, he's not a proper striker where you can rely on him to stand there and wait for a ball to come in. If that boy from Bogerson is a striker in the similar mould as Hooper, then slot the fucker in, pay the money and say, get us the Champions League, we'll double the money, we'll make money on him and the Champions League. For me, it's an absolute no-brainer. We've still got a wild card, we can still get him in, can't we?
But Tom, I mean, we look at it in the bigger picture. As I said to you before, we look at maybe 10 years ago when Martin O'Neill's great team went to Seville, and what that team was on a week, and probably Martin O'Neill was on with the whole coaching staff at Celtic Park's on alone. That team's on a fraction of what the current squad is. So what we're looking at, the only real big change at Celtic Park has been the fact that we've got more suits working in the actual main building, and we've also got Lennoxtown. And that's it. That there's been absolutely no difference. Season tickets, Celtic have never come out and said, we have went to being a European, we've come from being a European trophy winning team to a team that's on the punt players on and make money. So if that's the case, so if they say to me, there's £150 a year for your season ticket, you're going to see players for a year and they're moving on like a feeder club, like people who go and watch Ayr United or Albion Rovers, that's absolutely fine and I'll accept it. But don't start tweeting pictures of the European Cup tonight when there's been absolutely nothing coming. And I defy anybody now. People rate Peter Lawwell is the best guy in the world at doing his job because he gets people to do his work for him for nothing. Because he'll throw a couple of scraps of information out. They'll get really drawn, and everybody that thinks, oh, I was 15 stone at school, I couldn't kick football, but I can write a blog, they jump on the PLC bandwagon, don't you dare slag Celtic. At the end of the day, Glasgow Celtics, everybody around the world that supports Glasgow Celtic, the DNA is the continuity of people going to watch that football team for 126 years. Players go, we're very lucky, we have great managers like Billy McNeil, Tommy Burns, born and bred Celtic all through their days, and they went to Parkhead as the same as a family, and their family still do. That's the DNA line of Celtic that's never been broken. These people who come in and are employed by Celtic, and they get their little whipper dogs or their little snapper dogs they get them a club tie, and you look what's happening tonight at the other end of Glasgow when certain people get caught up in all their importance, or they went to university, they could write a blog, and now they're being chastised by working class fans. So it can happen to anybody. You know how many people? All I would ask is, and this is anybody, if somebody that wears a bucket hat, to anybody that sits there having soup with the greatest at the head table at Parkhead. If you can walk by the three statues at Celtic Park and look at them straight in the eye and walk in the front door, you're a better man than me, than half the charlatans that walk in that door. And I'm not even talking about the employed ones. All these cronies, be Celtic and all this. You know that there's an important time in this club's history because, like 93 and 94, there's a section of our club, our fans, our fellow punters who sit beside us, used to stand beside us, being attacked at the moment by everybody. And it's not just the PLC loving them about because of the lateral movement. Look at the lack of protection for support going over to Ireland to watch the team in the country where we actually originated from. Nothing said in it, nothing's going to be put in the press about it because it's an embarrassing to how bad this country actually is. So maybe I don't mind paying my money to the PLC if they're going to make sure that the fan base are quite safe doing that. It's an absolute toleration, mate. It's ridiculous. Total cash and carry. So how many people in that building can justify what wages they get, mate? That's my problem anymore.
You're right, mate, and it's a culture that started 19, 20 years ago. The Bull Fergus McCann did good, but his legacy, the stadium is a legacy, a PLC is a legacy. The fact that he came in and says we can't sing certain songs and we should be careful and mind our P's and Q's, that has opened a whole horse and cart that has been driven through by the media and the rest of Scottish society to tie us in with the old firm, tie us in, no equivocation, no point to stop the equivocation between us and them came from the board, no point to say, nobody come out and says, hold on, it's completely different, you know, and don't tie us in with racist, bigoted songs. So the legacy of McCann is the problem we've got with the PLC, the new, and the way Celtic fans have been treated. And that, like you say, the people who walk in the door to treat fellow Celtic, what was Jock Stein's quote that they have the chutzpah to put on there? A football without fans is nothing. Know what I mean? So Jock Stein's quote, if he was to see Celtic fans being treated that way, Brother Walford, if he was to find out that it was taking Celtic fans from the Kano Foundation to let Celtic fans, young fans in when they should be all let in for nothing at a young age, because I know I get let in for nothing, and for people to not put players of the standard of Jimmy Johnston on the pitch when they've got an emblem there of our greatest player, then you're right, those three statues are there for three different levels of mentality. So for you're a manager, from you're a founder, from a chairman, a director, to the players, and those three players and those three people were they had a small part to play in the bigger part. And the fans, yeah, they were great people, they were great servants, and they were the greatest of Celtic, but like all of us, they played a small part. So, well, Jock Stein played the biggest part, Jimmy Johnson the greatest player, Brother Walford for Thingy. So, but what I'm saying is, we're all as Celtic fans equal as them, but we have to look to the standard that they gave. We'll never ever get to the achievement of that, but just to be close to them, in the sense that if you walk into that ground as an employee, like you say, Parrot, you're right, if you're walking past three such greats of our history, yeah, we walk in there as equals, but we do them a disservice for not trying to live to their high expectations that they took to this club. That Celtic, you know, to treat Celtic fans in a despicable way and a dispersal notice, it's a joke. And to tell us lies through, hold on very quickly, to tell us lies through the puppets in the media and force a thing, mate, it's a wrong thing to do. Sorry, Parrot, go.
I think that, no, the most vulgar thing that gets me is look at the statue of the great Brother Walford sitting there projecting itself outside Celtic Park. And the thing that gets me is every time from outside the window and you look up and you see these shiny Slater suit wearing people who are only there for the cop for the business or something, you know, and they're looking down their nose at you, and they went, well, is this really the club I wanted? And I know corporate is a necessary evil of the game, but you look at the event at the Green Brigade who hosted the football tournament, the anti-discrimination, and mate, it was like a Benetton advert. Every person was there. We had Bill Polacs like myself were there. We had people from the Basque Country, there were African people there were Indian people there were Pakistani teams there. There was even a team feaster who's called the Rocket Launchers. And everybody was there celebrating everything good that's about this city, and I went, this is where the Brother Walford statue should be this afternoon. You know, this is what this club's all about. You know, and it takes the so-called the bad boys and girls of our support who actually got together and organised such a fantastic event, and everybody was welcome, and there was kids there was bouncy castles, alright, there's a few bits of pyro flying about, but these people do it off their own back. They don't get a penny of it. You know, they put in their own hard-earned money, and some great people back them up as much as they can through merchandise, whatever. But I mean, these are the people that are Celtic. No, these people that go there Monday to Friday and the clock watch saying all the time I put a tweet out to employees. The club really, really needs to have a right good look at itself, mate. Because as I say, the Green Brigade stuff has been, there's meetings going on all this week over various things. And as I say, every supporter in that stadium, wherever you sit, we're all entitled to be the same, but the ethos of what we are and why we are should be the same. We're playing the stock exchange. We're entrusting our hard-earned money. People's putting themselves into loan companies that the club, you know, organise to get going to see a football team. And the product has not been given there, mate. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. People's just sitting back and getting a wee bit lazy and gullible to what's happened, mate. So, it's no for me, Chief, you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, but I'll sit here and moan about the problems I've got with it, right? But God willing, till the day I draw my last breath, I'm never fighting for the good fight, for not just for Celtic, not for Ireland, just for everybody that's oppressed and everybody that's Stingman, for my dying thing. And what I want for Celtic is for Celtic to be owned by the fans. I mean, it's oversaid and overstated, right? But you got to have that dream, and that goal, I think, as Celtic fans, is something that should burn in the heart of us all. for Brother Walford, for Jock Stein, the fans, that club more than any other club in the world should not be a PLC. Everything should become for the thing, mate. Because you know what, bro, right? Do you know what? I'm sitting here doing these shows for nothing, but I would walk through on a 9-to-5 job for Celtic from Monday to Friday, and I would do it for nothing. If they've got someone there in a PR department, God willing, I'm trying to do twice the job. If I had to take a pay, and I would take it for half, right? That's the people who, and I'm no special. Fuck me, I'm no special. I'm a cunt. I'm an idiot. I'm a wank. I'm a half. I'm sorry for using this language, right? I'm not saying I'm special, and I'm not saying I'm an Uber Tim, but I know, for me, if I'm committed to Celtic to want to help them out in whatever small way, right, that I would do it. I know there's another 40, 50,000. So for the hundreds of people they've got there, if they've got people are giving half-hearted commitment to the job and half-hearted, and they're just looking at his money, then they've got the wrong people and they've got the wrong ethos running through the club. And that's what I was saying. Yeah, the legacy of Fergus McCann, but the ethos of that club isn't what... If I was, say, I mean, I don't want to be a director, I don't want to be a leader, I don't want to be a manager or anything, but, for example, if I was a CEO, I would tell Magners, don't cut our hoops up.
That's what Cheeky Moore came out with Tommy. I'll get a few contacts, I'll get some speedboats and berries looked at. Don't worry, mate. We'll get up that Clay to Dalmarnock, we'll get an invasion going.
No, but listen, but if right, you've got to run with principles. For an example, instead of taking the money for breweries, take a lesser cut and go for that. That's just a small thing, right? And instead, like I said, it's the Kano Foundation that's doing it. Forget that. We get like every Celtic fan, boy under the age of 16 and lassie, in for nothing. Let them in for nothing. Every single one. You watch it and charge the fathers who bring them in a 10 or a 15. That's the lifeblood. Put better food on, right? Have a soup kitchen. There's people starving to a degree that we don't even understand or see or being lied to. There was something that came out the other week and they're sitting there scratching their head, oh, why is the death rates went up for elderly and all that? Well, it's because they're having to choose between food and eating. So why, instead of giving programmes and shite out, why is there no a soup kitchen or food? Why are they not going round to St Michael's round the corner? Why are they not dishing stuff out in St Mary's in the middle of Brigton? So what if a few zombies come around? We might convert them with our soup kitchen. I mean, they did it a couple of 100 years ago. We'll no force them, but we can show them our love. So if someone was in there as Celtic with a heart, then we would look, so what if we lose some money? So what? People will come and see, heck, they're doing something special for our community. I'm going to go the extra few yards, because now you've got crackpots like me, you, and not just me and you, but other people sitting back saying, no, they've lost the plot, I don't want to give them their money. You know, and this could be a defining line. If they're doing this to the Green Brigade, then Celtic fans have to say, well, not in your life. And we have to do something concrete. If it takes, and God willing, my short-term to medium-term goals are the now, with the help and the support of Celtic people, is to do a movie and to, God willing, set up a radio station, maybe only internet, but God willing, an FM frequency for the Irish, for the Celtic community in Glasgow. Because if Muslims could come here and make a radio station, we should be doing that. And then the next bit is for Celtic fans to take back, which is only rightfully ours. It's no, we've had too many temporary custodians who have sold us down the Nolly. And you're right, we should get commando style, disembarking Dalmarnock, balaclavas on, peaceful protest. It's a sit-in. There's no booze. It's Mick McGahey time. There's no fucking booze. We're sitting in here. It's our club. It's our place. We'll go and sit in the wee office where the big cup is, and we'll take back our club, because I think in a peaceful way. I'm not saying anything violent, but we need to do.
What's your old follow that 25 million sitting there doing nothing? That's a guard dog.
Fucking guard dog, right? Let's look at. Let's go tonight. The motor's fucking started. The revolution has to be radioactivised. You've really gone now, you cunt. A fucking disgrace, because Celtic, like you say, Brother Walford, it was all about, you and I sat and watched that play. The same with Dermot Desmond, Peter Lawwell in the front row, watched that play, but it was all about, and that tugged my heartstrings, because then it re-emphasised, doesn't matter if we win, lose or draw, the fact that we started the club for the right reasons, and if you lose the right reasons for this club, you lose its soul. For me, it's lost its soul, but I'll never give up the chance to bring it back, that Celtic fans will own that club. I don't want to own it. I already own it. And I own it, you own it, we all own it. But we've been lied to by temporary custodians for too long that we really need to own it 100%. No a share issue, a PLC. We need membership, and we can do it and put in right people, good people who will no lie to us and will do the right ethos. And God willing, see we do that, we'll win the big cup again. We'll bring it back because you do the right thing, you win the right things.
But see, me in the chat, right? There's probably a lot of we do fuckers not got a clue, but
fuck them. I've not got a come wired to the moon.
See if you're
taking back our club. This fucking crackpot wants our club back for us. Sorry, Parrot. Shut me up. Fucking shut up, right?
So no, but see if you're sitting there, right, and if you went to the game, your dad, your grand or whatever, and you've lost them, and if you could bring your dad back for one game and he was sitting beside you and he was to watch that team, right, and you say, and your dad would say, "Oh, this is shite," and you would turn and say, "Yeah, but we've got £25 million in the bank." Every little things like that, just thinking that for a wee second to yourself, and we've all got that special person who used to go to the football with. And if you think that's acceptable as a Celtic fan to take that there's the people that used to make the noise. Well, they didn't really behave themselves, so we decided to put them at the club. You know, if this is what you've got to do. You've got to be able to debate. You can't say it in 140 characters on Twitter. You can't expect a 19-year-old person to write a blog who's never actually when it's worst, you know. I mean, my old man was when Madrid won the European Cup at Hampden. My uncle was at Hampden with Leeds in 70 when it was people in the chat. I know old Arthur there asking was it 8 games in early. Hopefully they paid in. I doubt it. But you know that this is what the club's all about. We've got to get away from this. But look at the money. You know, it's like a fat golden calf sitting getting dangled above that main stand. Oh look, the team's right, but we've got enough money to keep going for 4 years. But nobody's going to go and see that for 4 years.
Jamesy boy, Tommy was a feckin' maddy. Of course I'm Jamesy boy. 0141 416 1888. William Clark, he says, Tommy, you still need money to win the big cup. Yes, of course we do, right? But see, if you do things the right way, good things happen. See, by putting on, and guarantee you now, we'll never win the big cup when we're putting on sponsorships for companies that cause the destruction of alcohol, right? The misery and death from alcohol, and no good will come to a club whose ethos was about helping people. So we sell out, I'm talking from for me, I don't drink, right? And I can see the damage that drink costs, right? And I've seen it personally in my life. I've seen it, you know, and everything that happens, and I don't like it, right? So I think that, as the Buddhists call it, a karma, right? So for me, for Celtic, who was born to help people, right, are born out to help the poor people of the East End, I think that we, and people say luck, there's no such a thing as luck. Everything that we have got as Celtic is we've been given by the grace of God. We've been very fortunate that we won the big cup, and look how beautiful, because look what Rangers try to do, they threw everything at it, but because their setup wasn't right, because of their history, because of their baggage, then no luck will befall on them. Look, when we founded in 1888, what's the lucky year of the Chinese? What's the luck of the Chinese? They love the year 8. But I don't think it's our destiny. It was our destiny to win the big cup because the righteous way that our club was set out, our club was destined to win it because Jock Stein was one of the most fine, brilliant human beings that could ever walked God's green earth. Okay, and Jimmy Johnston, one of the finest players to go onto a pitch. But those things don't happen. They happen for a reason. I believe that happened for a reason. And if Celtic was to clear the decks, right, I'm just saying this in response to yourself, Will, Celtic would clear the decks and go back to the ethos of the club and look after the people of the East End, then more money would come to Celtic, more goodness would come to Celtic, and maybe God would shine his light down and would bring us, deliver us within 50 miles. We didn't have to go and buy 2 million or 5 million Finn Bogasons. We grew them within 50 miles. So we've got a fucking Lennoxtown up there. Instead of selling the players out or farming them out to Kilmarnock, if they're 18 or good enough, get them on the pitch at Celtic. Get them on there. 50 miles, we can do it. We can fucking do it. You got to believe it. If it can be done, then we can get 50 boys for a field near Dublin, for Galway, and transplant them to the pitches of Donegal and Glasgow, and we can win the big cup. We do it by having faith and belief in Celtic and the good people that came from Ireland and gave us the faith. love and humility to help others less fortunate, because that is the highest human desire, to help others less fortunate. So if Celtic goes back to our ethos and helps the poor people, the starving people, the youngsters in the area, then the money will come, the players will come, and the big cup will come. Keep the faith, William Clark. Keep the faith, brother.
Righteous, Tommy. That weekend in Dublin sorted you right out, mate. You should have moved aside the JPO with a loudspeaker, mate, getting it loudy.
I fell asleep for 2 hours beside the Liffey. I must have swallowed big gulps of the Liffey next to the Temple Ball area. Big James Larkin, would you call who else is up? Who's the two statues? Larkin and the great Parnell. God bless them. And we're taking back Ireland from the bankers. No more king, queen or Nazi or Eurocrat, technocrat bastards bankers. Get rid of a lot of them. We're taking our club back. We're taking our country back. Fucking enough's enough. You've set me up here. Terry O'Neill and the Parrot. Yous are mad bastards. Yous have set me up. I'm wired to the fucking moon here. I'm ready to go. We want our club back. Fucking lies everywhere. The Green Brigade kicked out. Enough is a fucking... This is getting to my head now. Because earlier on, I spoke to somebody, and then the good Terry, even he said that I think we've passed the point of no return. Is it that bad now? Because if they've been given dispersal orders, then the final solution is here. They've kicked Celtic fans out.
You had a guy on the Homeboys last night, James, who sits in 1-1-1, an older guy. He's not in the Green Brigade. What's he been there for? You know, you had the boy Baz, the Kirkcaldy, had to tell his 13-year-old daughter the day, oh, by the way, we're not allowed to sit in section 111 anymore.
Bastards. Fucking bastards. Sorry for language. Bastards. Bang out your order.
And then Dave, the mindset who's thinking, oh, well, you know, they were moving about and all that. You know, if you're sitting in the main stand, or if you're sitting in the heated seats of the north stand, you know, the good old days at Celtic Park, there's all you people sat at the main stand and let the rest of us go and we supporting Celtic, and we sat with your lace and leather gloves on and clapped politely when we scored a goal. Give the club back to the people.
You're right. It's our club, and I just hate being lied to. I hate being... Tell us the truth. If we can't afford it, then we can't afford it.
Schemes, Tommy, we're a team, whatever housing scheme it be, whether it be Glasgow, Edinburgh, Belfast, Dublin, we're a team of housing schemes, mate. We're the club that nobody wanted, that the fans are and of course people arrived 126 years ago and there was a professional base who set Celtic up and the great doctors and the brother Walfred and they got us up and running, and then certain... And obviously, the Kellys get in there and ran the clique, and fair play, you know, if you've got a wee family business like that and it takes off and you do well. But as you say, Fergus come in and brought some people in, and some people got under the door, and there's a cronyism now, and there's people there's people that work in the stadium, and some of them share a second same name with other people who work in the stadium, and it's a very tight ship, and there might be a fear factor, people scared of some people who work at the stadium and stuff like that. That's not really on an organisation. I'd have them on tracksuits walking about, mate. I'd have it like North Korea. You know, I'd have them in official Celtic merchandise, right? Tracksuits and Green Brigade bucket hats. Let's get a hand of friendship out here. Come on. You imagine you only get out for a press conference wearing a Green Brigade bucket hat.
I thought they were already full kit wankers, but with a special full kit. It had Lawwell's PLC buddies all emblazered in pink, bright pink and purple. Bright pink and purple, full kit wankers, Lennon's PLC. Lawwell's PLC.
Every time I go to my spiritual home, mate, and I see some of these suits going into that front door, I think they're remaking The Great Escape. There's some cash and carry cloth going on there, mate, you know, and they look down their nose at an element of their support who probably wear jackets designed by Massimo Mosti in the 1950s for Italian motorcycle tracks, you know, that cost £900, and these people are wearing £60 C&A suits. They're bagging from 20 years ago.
And here, have you seen Pedro Law? Well, the way he struts out that stadium, he struts out like some big don. I'll tell you, you're going to see me jumping out with a camera one day, and you'll say, "There's fucking Tommy."
I'll tell you what. All kidding aside, now football, I'm not really the best, but when it comes to fashion, no fucking in Britain touches me, mate. I lived in Italy, right? See that day when they produced the stone for the Sales for Change people, right? And my chief executive was there. See the denims he'd on that day, he looked like Zach out Emmerdale Farm, if he'd have a beard, see if he'd have got letting your beard for 10 minutes, Chief, and I went, oh my God, look at this state, and you can just tell he's a guy that wears a suit 7 days a week. You know, get down to the golf club wearing a nylon Scotty boat, his 6-year school disco with a pair of fucking fire denims on, you know what I mean? Outrageous. Give us my club back. If you dress well at Celtic Park, they'll be penalised. Give it back to the Adidas trainers and the bucket hats. The revolution begins.
You're right. Right, it's 9 o'clock.
Anyway, we're going to get PLC Predator drones flying over this tape. Is it, mate, like Hellfire or something like that? So we better hang up and change coordinates. But as ever, mate, Righteous with the show was absolutely fantastic. And I actually seen somebody tweeting something about SSB in my timeline there, so they're getting booted at absolutely criminal when there's shows like yourselves. As I say, every time I come on, can you thank people enough like yourself, the Homeboys, Free Gelly, you know, Celtic Hub. I had Peter in Ireland, moving from Fife to fucking the north of Ireland. Quite a bizarre move, but there you go. Probably better central heating over there. But that's it, mate. But no, I'll keep up the fight, Chief, you know what I mean? Harry Krishna and all that. But,
God bless, Parrot.
Are we exclusive before I go? You're the first to be told it on air.
Oof.
Mellow Bird CSC is dissolved. The new CSC is Chai Latte. That's the new drink. So when we're on the Franks and as a CSC sunbed at the Clyde, where we always meet for our afternoon classes, that's what you're getting next, Chief.
You go through more fucking branding with your CSCs and I do with my shows. I'm now the Fenian Defence League radio show now. So
you know what, mate? I actually hashtag that and put it out now, and I've got a journalist for the Glasgow Herald following me.
Aye, you're the Fenian Defence League now, that's it. This is Fenian Defence Radio.
Hashtag get it out there. Let's baffle the planet.
Fenian Defence League Radio.
Hashtag Fenian Defence League. Let's get it going on radio. Listen, mate, if you're finishing up, hopefully get a wee chat off for you later. But if anybody in the chat room have a friend, even obscure fucking deluded ideas, I do apologise. But the club's worth fighting for. And as long as I've got good people in my Twitter like yourselves, off the boys in the chat room who'll be listening to me, Mel like Larkin and Rusk and Paul for the drum and Chaz and the boys for New York and Graham Wilson and all these great Celtic folk, as long as you agree with what I say, mate, I don't really give a fuck, you know what I mean? So, here we go, Chief.
God bless. I need to put the windows down. I'm sweltering here. I'm sweating like an rapist almost in here. That's fucking... My tin can is sweltering here, troops. Things I need to get through for you.
You're looking at a Lena Martel vinyl picture or something and that. I know I'm off, Chief. Here we go.
God bless.
Sorry.
See you later. Aye. Sorry for using that terminology there. Oh, it's roasting in the motor here. Need to get the windows down. There's too much background noise with the windows. There you go. Sweltering it is. The old window creaking up there. What are we doing? How long have we got left? I've got school duty. School's back tomorrow. School's back. But before we go, hold on. Right, don't go. I'm going to make another wee call. I'm just going to play a wee tune, right? We'll play a wee tune. And it's not too late, we're going to get another with a prank calling brigade, right? So we need a wee caller, we need to do a wee cheeky call. I tried to do a wee call earlier on, but nobody picked up, so it's not too late. What time is it? It's only 9 bells, right? So we're on the deadline of my telesales. It's deadline, so we'll just play a wee tune and then we'll be back. We'll make a wee quick prank call. We've still got another half an hour to go, but I can't afford that. Maybe another 15 minutes we can go, maybe go another 10-15 minutes, right? So play this tune, do a wee couple of prank calls when we come back, and then we'll finish it up, right? And what better tune to play? Free the People.
Laws were made for people, and the law can never scorn the right of a man to be free.
We the people, let them have their say. We the people, let them see the light of day.
A dismal dawn was breaking when they took her man away, not knowing what was his crime. Just what he was guilty of, not one of them could say, but they think of something in time. He says goodbye and remember, we shall overcome. We the people, let them have their say. We the people, let them see the light of day. comforting her children softly crying in the night. She tries very hard to explain. You know your daddy never did a thing that wasn't right, so soon he's bound to be home again. He is a good man, and he shall overcome. Free the people, let them have their say. Free the people, let them see the light of day.
What does it profit him, the right to be born, if he suffers the loss of liberty? Laws were made for people, and the law can never scorn the right of a man to be free. We are the people, and we shall overcome.
We are the people, and we shall overcome. Free the people, let them have their say. Free the people, let them see the light of day. Free the people, let them have their say. Free the people, let them see the light of day. Free the people, let them have their say.
You hear that noise there? You hear that noise? Celtic fans having fun. Celebration. You hear the laughter? The laughter of our children. Well, do you know what? See that saying that we keep saying? See the laughter of these last 2 years. My granda was born the same day James Connolly was shot in the chair. He came to this land in 53 to give his children something better than what was on offer in Belfast. He died in December 1999. Within a year my son was born. My daughter, my second daughter, was born within days before my nanny was born, before my nanny died. And these wonderful people from Ireland taught me about my history. The place where my mum stayed, I call it Little Ireland still. It was a sanctuary for me. And Celtic means so much. At times, as I say, it doesn't matter to me really about the football. I know it may seem sacrilege, but having gone through so much and seen so much, all the different stuff, if you get a different perspective in life that, you know, yeah, life without the fans is nothing, but, you know, we don't deserve to die for football. You know, the day part of me died when Liverpool fans died. You know, part of me died when Jock Stein, when I saw him dying. Part of me died when my nanny died. Part of me died when my papa died. But then the rebirth, the hope, the circle of life that I was taught when my nanny died and my wee daughter was born, the circle of life goes on. And there was a wee person, a wee nanny, God rest her, who taught me everything. And my daughter, who I named after her, now was my chance to teach her everything. And then, you know, my wee boy, he took my wife's African's father's name for his first name, and he got my grandfather's name for his second name. So, and then looking at him drawn up to a fine boy, you know, and fine half Irish, half African boy, and clever my ways, you know, and for me, and then seeing them support Celtic. And the final bit was only just a week ago, and I really did smile when my daughter, who's newly into football, and my uncle got her, and my mum, to go and see. I never went. I was just so crazy. Me and my boy didn't go to the game when we lifted the league, and yet my mum, who can't stand football, and my youngest daughter, who's not really the biggest fan, but she actually liked it. She quite liked it. So that's it complete. I've got 3 kids who are now bona fide Tims. That's what it's all about. Celtic fans enjoying themselves. Listen in here. Listen in. Celtic fans enjoying themselves. I've enjoyed myself tonight. I hope I put on a show that you have enjoyed tonight, God willing. All I ask you to do is tell 10 to tell 10. Retweet to retweet. If you're sitting in Celtic Park, then say, if you listen to that crackpot, if you listen to Beyond the Waves, if you listen to Hail Media, spread the word. That's what it's all about. Increase the peace, fight the power. And if the powers that be are at Celtic are corrupt or they're doing wrong things, then you have no bad feelings or any animosity against Peter Lawwell or people there. I just want them to do the right thing. If they're not doing the right thing, move on. Move on, and let's get people in there with the drive, with the passion, who want things better. We can do things better. We're Celtic. Yes, and what I was trying to say was trying to tie in with my granda who came from Belfast, my wee granny's family came from Ballinrobe, is that the beautiness of being a Celtic fan, the link with the past and what the hopes we've got for the future. We can smile and laugh at the misfortune, right, of what's happened to them. And what my grandfather had to endure in Belfast in 53, right? To want to flee that land to give his children something better. And then he always spoke about education, and all my family played musical instruments, and again I was forced into playing the piano, and God rest my wee granny who always said education, education. And then you look at the problems, and if you look at the problems on the other side, it was because they're a self-entitlement issue in their own head that everything's handed to them, so it's cool. And everything was handed to them, and it was cool for a while. My grandfather, the only reason he could work in Harland and Wolff, and he had to con his way, maybe that's why I get a bit of a con guy myself, well, not a con person, but a gifted, well, be able to say something or get somewhere or do something or have a tenacity to go that way. Well, my grandfather had that, and he did that to work in Harland and Wolff, and he only got the gig because, as he put it, his name wasn't too Fenian sounding, right? And he got the gig, and he had to go back home because he came from Ardoyne. He had to go back home to his sisters, who was married to a Protestant, to get his food, because if he got off the bus at the Crumlin Road where they would go to the Shankill, if he'd walked the other way, as he said, they would have been tarred and feathered. What sort of life was that to bring up for a young family? So he took them out that to give them something else, and then brought them to Glasgow and worked in the shipyards, worked in John Brown. And he wasn't really a big football fan, but for me, the laughter that I've had this last couple of years, and I think back to my grandparents constantly, because I see them in my children's eyes. I see them in reactions. I mean, especially my young daughter who was born with like ships passing in the night. But the beautiful thing at Celtic is the fact that it came from Ireland, that it was born out of where it was born. And the part that I'm most proud of isn't the football team, isn't the PLC. It's the fact that I am united with wonderful people, truly amazing people. And I cried on Friday night when good people gave me money when I asked them to just get me to Dublin for a game to drive about. Sadly, I would never picked up any Celtic fans that I wanted. There was 3 bad ones for Glasgow who didn't know where they were going, and I wasn't prepared to take them. But there was so many Scousers there, but it didn't matter. I had a wonderful time. But you know, for me, it just I'm nearly crying now. Well, I'm crying now, thinking that good people share their love that way, and I can't thank you enough for the people who did. And I know many other people would have done it, you know. And I really, my part of being a Celtic fan is the fact I share the experience. I mean, the day I quoted there, the 23rd of April 1988, our birthday, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Celtic, happy birthday to you. And then in the tunnel, walking through, was it Gilmore Street in Paisley, right? And Jock Stein had died on the 10th of September 1985. And it was before my time, because I only knew Jock Stein as a Scotland manager, really, because when he took over in 78, I was only 6. The raw emotion and passion in a tunnel going through a Paisley train station when the Celtic fans remembered Jock Stein, Jock Stein, Jock Stein, Jock Stein, Jock Stein. And that was in the 3rd of May 1986, Jock Stein. And it can be good again. We can take Europe over by storm again. Keep the faith, keep the belief, and return to where we began. Return. The people of Glasgow, the Catholic community need us. Yeah, sure, we'll not get the same oppression that my grandfather faced 60 years ago. We've got 30 years ago, 20 years ago. The truth has been unmasked. What do I say? Every programme, I was ingrained by a good brother who told me this saying, I say it, seek the truth and reject falsehood, for falsehood is always vanishing. And for every Celtic fan, that's why the smile, that's why the tears are dripping down my face and smiling the now, that we have, as Celtic fans, have achieved our greatest victory. Our greatest victory, yeah, we won the big cup with Jock Stein on the pitch, but our greatest victory as fans is being able to laugh and smile at the misfortune of our greatest rivals and what they took them to. The inevitability about it. It was written in the stars. It was in their destiny. It was always going to happen. To be took over by an egotistical maniac who thought he could buy his way to taking the big cup, and his hubris and his egomaniac trip. And it fucked him right up the bakey. And what better people to see it happen to? What better people? What a laughter, what a joy. Fuck your bloggers, your blogospheres and your crackpots. The rebels have won. The boys for this scheme will fucking celebrate tonight. So get a rude fuck up yous. European champions, and yous are still fucking zombies. Sorry for the language. We're having a party when Rangers die again. Let's join us.
There's a song that's more than tender. The less you rock or rest, it's all about rest. So release your eyes, making your soul's expression. All around their hearts, they'll sing to you this song. And the people sing this song and this song. The music of the winter night. The love is the power, it's all for the joy. So join us and then music that
You know, my granny and granda pushed me into music, forced me. The classical stuff, I was told to play that all the time. I hated that part. The rebel tunes, I loved that. My schoolmates, I've told it before, in St Ninians, where the Bold Eddie McGeady went to. Jack the Hat McVitie used to chase me out when I'd be playing rebel tunes in the music bit. God bless my nanny and papa for getting me into the piano. Music's where it's at for the Irish community. A celebration, a celebration of what we are, and how dare they. See, this is one of the key things. This is an attack on our culture. This is an all-out, full frontal attack. Let's not beat about the bush here. Once we're getting everything on the fucking table here, right? That is an attack. A full-out attack. Attack on Irish peaceful culture. Okay? For them to attack our songs is basically them trying to undermine our history, our heritage, our culture and our people. And I'm sorry, right, if people who think they're educated and putting stuff out there and it doesn't recognise that, then you've lost your humanity and you've lost your grip on your reality. Okay? Celtic people and Celtic is about something bigger than just a football team or a game. We're about, and it's all bullshit. If you say your family and you're this and that, well, spare me the PR marketing bullshit, right? That's what you've swallowed when you give it all the Celtic family. If you fail to do the thing justice, if it's just a superficial bullshit ego trip that you want to be there, there's parrot away, put it walking in with all the suits, if that's the way it is, then fuck off. You're no good, you've lost the plot as far as I'm concerned. It's just BS, unless, well, come inside. It's a welcome ship. Turn over and be a good person, because yeah, it's in everybody's capability. Okay, so yeah, it's nothing against the PLC or people there. Yous are great people, yous are good people. We're asking you to do the right thing. No, it's no bit Finbogason. It's bigger than that. I think it's bigger than that anyway. The fact that we've lost our ethos to what the club was formed at, and we can get it back to something great. It is something great now. It is something so special now. And it's, well, if put in the right hands, i.e. the fans who, you know, people who would sweat blood, tears and everything and do it for a pittance, to know that they were doing something for the common good to help people out, then let's, you know, that's the way. So that's the way Celtic fans do. They react to people, and people who helped me at the weekend were only testament. People in my past, in my life that I've came across. Yeah, there's good and bad everywhere. Sure, there's idiots everywhere, but in the majority, if any time a Celtic fan who's been in need, you know, or if I've been in need, then many times I've come through and helped. And as I say, last week was a perfect example for me, and I can't keep thanking you lovely people enough for that. Anyway, sorry for rabbiting on. I really am. I'm going to do a call now. Stay there. Just, yeah, so that's what I was trying to say, that for what they do for our tunes, it's a disgrace, first of all, to tie it in with racist, bigoted efforts. That's the first scandal. Well, that's a part of one of the many, that the fact that they tie it in with what they do. And I'm getting phone calls. Oh my goodness, I'm getting it tight here. Right, stay there, crackpots. Just finishing this up. We're going to do a call in 2 seconds. 1 minute, we're doing a call. My little daughters, the church bells ringing. This land is made for you and me. Your land, this land is my land, the Northern Highlands. to the Achill Islands and the Islamic Islands was made for you and me. The Northern Highlands, the Western Islands, the hills of Kerry, the streets of freedom. This land was made for you and me. Sing it up, everybody, sing it up, come on. And the men who died there. And for the men who died there, and the women. For all the men and the women and children, our brothers and sisters, where the Irish people and culture faced a genocide just as great as what the Jewish people, what the African people suffered from. And yet we have to still live with these same people. So don't any Celtic fan have the chutzpah to say, take the politics or take Ireland out of our club. You feckin' dafty. You stupid looking dumb schmuck if you are. Okay, if that's you, oh my goodness, all is lost for you. Personally, I think so anyway, yeah. Because see when they, right, see the music aspect, you heard that song there. Music kept people hopes alive. The songs that we sing now. So just look at it. They know, and they have known, they have been beat for a few years. They know they've been sold down the Swanee by their leaders. Okay? Your Protestant, white working class trailer trash that is prevalent in many parts of Scotland, and just, well, there's many parts of Scotland that have got Muslim trailer trash, maybe, and even Catholic trailer trash, and Jewish trailer trash, and Hindu or Buddhist. Every culture and background is able to have that. But if you're living in a country which is 70 or 80% of that population, let's call a spade a spade. If you've got trailer trash living here, okay, and they celebrate, and you see them just there in the last month, been up to their knees, go home, the famine's over, and oh, it's only a joke. Oh, is that right? So at the same time is that we are now able to put a smile on and celebrate the fact that, well, okay, nobody's perfect, we've got our faults as well, but we're not as bad as what yous have done, and look what you have done to your own stupid club. Yous have helped killed it by your own daftness. Okay? So they, now in the society, it seems to me it's like, throw the dummy out the pram time, oh dearie me, loser laughing at us, you dirty bastards, you dirty Timmy, Fag, Fenian, Tags, whatever they want to call us, right? Whatever the language of choice, yeah, that's what we are, yeah, of course we are, you daft bastards. But the thing is, they want to attack us, that because they've lost that battle, let's start a new battle. That's what they're all about. So a battle they come in, or we'll tell them they can't sing their songs, we'll tie them in with ours, and then nobody can sing it. Is that right? No, it's an attack on our culture to say, and to tie our songs in with them, and to tell us not to sing it. Bang right out of order. Scottish establishment, Alex Salmond, these are all chumpchas. I promise you a call, here we go.
This is the Vodafone voicemail.
Right, not to be. Oh well. So yeah, I'll finish with what I was saying. The fact that what they're trying to do with our songs is an attack on our culture, and it's bang out of order to equivocate us and to put us in the same basket as the basket cases, and we shouldn't pander to the lowest common denominator, but that's the society we live in. But we shouldn't accept it. We should fight for more. Just because things have got better in the last 60, 70 years doesn't mean they can't get better, and we should drag the knuckle draggers from here to kingdom come if it takes them. If it takes them from now to the next millennium, then we should always be planting seeds of hope in our children and our children's children, because look where it's took us from when my grandfather stepped here 60 years ago, from being born, doing the reverse journey of the brave James Connolly, for what he did then and for what he took, and the steps he took for his family, and for what the rest of our families had to take on those brave steps to flee the oppressor over in Ireland for hundreds of years, to free themselves from tyranny. So we have a right to sing these songs in celebration, because when you quote the laughter will be for our children, well, I'm looking at now, I'm a children of an immigrant who came here looking for better, and he gave me better, and he gave me a wonderful place to live where I could meet and congregate with wonderful people. And now I've got a wonderful friends who they follow me on Twitter, but I don't see them as followers, I see them as friends, as brothers, as sisters. It's not a PR game to me. It's not about anything. I'm a mad crackpot. I'm the maddest, daftest idiot, and I've done so much wrong. I ain't special. I'm just an idiot, actually. I'm an idiot. See, if I go to, I'll tell you, I've no problems with telling anybody but me. Parrot, anybody, I tell all my life story. There's parts I keep private. I've only been doing it for one reason, and that's because, when I started phoning the radio stations 11 years ago, was because I walked into a religion called Islam, and I saw them being treated the exact same way as the Irish Catholic community was in Ireland for years and years, and I thought, I was a salesman. I was trained by the American self-help books by Tom Hopkins and salespeople. I thought, well, I've got this way of talking, and I'm from this community that says you should always stand with the oppressed. You always were born from it. And Celtic, so this guiding light for me is Celtic, is a beacon of light. So I want to be a champion for the rest of my life for Celtic, not the football club, for the people that we are, because we're no special, we're just half-wits. I know you're all half-wits like me, but at least we love something that's special, and that's our culture, with my wee granny and granda, and your granny and grandas. Let's smile tonight. So I'm going to play this tune, stand to attention, and God bless everyone for joining. I'm sorry for rabbing on, I tried to get somebody there, but who gives a fly monkeys. God bless, hail, hail, increase of peace, seek the truth, reject falsehood, for falsehood is always vanishing.
Thanks very much, good night, God bless you all. Chucky Allah.
I'll second that, Chucky Allah, God bless you all. Back tomorrow night, 5:30 I think, 5:30, 6, God willing. Speak to you then, tell 10 to tell 10, increase the peace. And thanks again, thank